What's going on? What's going on, family? Last game of the season. Big up to yourselves. Big up to Apollo. Big up to family in the chat. Arsenal v Brighton. We've got a team sheet here with Leno in goal, Chambers, and Holding. Chambers at right back, Holding and Gabriel in centre back, and Tierney on the left. And Xhaka makes a return in the midfield alongside Partey. And we have Pepe, Odegaard, and Smith Rowe across the attacking line, and Aubameyang up front. With our subs as Runarsson, Mari, Cedric, Elneny, Sabaya, Saka, Martinelli, Nketiah, and Lacazette. So no Reece Nelson, and no Balogun on the subs bench. That tells a story in itself. Apollo says, Xhaka back. Didn't we go 4 games winning in a row without him? Yes, we did. It's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen some of the youngsters on the bench to give them a chance, a run out before the start of the season next season. Not sure what benefit Ceballos actually gives us with him being on the subs bench. What's going on? Afternoon, Cool K. He says, "Hey Vincey, can't believe we might do Spurs today." Well, it's a mixed bag when it comes to the Spurs result. And yes, we get bragging rights in finishing above them. But I think for us, we've got bigger fish to fry. We've got to focus on how we've got to rebuild our club. Rebuild us as to what the standards we want. And it's, for fans, yes, we love finishing above Spurs, but we've got bigger fish to fry than just finishing above Spurs, man. We got to really get our club back in shape. So yeah, hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. We're also on Facebook, Arsenal 101. We have daily banter, 24/7. It's fun. It's a good family atmosphere. We keep that love there. So yeah, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. We're going to have more updates in the off season and review of the season, and transfer daily podcasts will be coming through. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of information, a lot of discussion that will keep you busy in the off season and ready for next season. So I'm just waiting for my fellow panelists to join me. Looks like the game's about to start. What's going on, 18? Hey guys, a good win needed today. Hey Vincey, hold down the fort. Yeah, man, I'm going to hold it down. Got the badge on, got the jumper on. I had to finally spend some money and gave Cronky a little bit of Snickers change. We're not on my last tour visit to the stadium, so yeah, got a little bit of colours going on. I got a bit of a dodgy stream, so dodgy link today, so I'm gonna have to restart several times. So it looks like the game's about to start, about to take a knee. And we're off. Oh, stream is killing me. I'm just gonna have to watch it on my phone. Can't get it onto the big TV. Cool K says, I have Sky Sports. Unfortunately, this game is on Sky Arena, which is not part of my package. Anyone else have a less convenient place to watch the game? Oh, he's got it now. Cool, cool. So I just got internet. Slow internet connection on my Wi-Fi, so I'm gonna have to go on mobile data. Cool Case says it would be interesting to see Leno get a send-off today. Get sent off, or not a send-off. Get sent off just so we can reminisce on how shocking it is that Stat DNA and our new goalkeeping coach recommended a goalkeeper who can't catch the ball. What's going on? Odiya, bro. What's up, bro? He says, must win for Arsenal today. Must win. But Brighton on attack. And good block there by Gabriel. Yeah, it will be pure jokes if Leno got sent off today. But yeah, we got some problems down at Arsenal, man. Some serious problems, and it's not going to happen overnight. We just got to ride this storm out with the team. Whoever's going to keep you happy in the meantime, give them 100% support and backing, and keep that balance, because still tough times ahead. It's not going to be easy. Every club's going to move forward while we try to get back our identity. So Brighton stood on with the ball. Oh, no. It's now jumped. Dodgy stream. So still 0-0. So what's your thoughts of the score today, guys, in the chat? Let us know what you think is going to be our score line today. I'll tell you mine after I've read out a few. There's a secret head-to-head today between Apollo and myself. We're both on the same score in the fantasy league. Apologies, I was being a bit negligent this season, and Apollo's been a bit busy himself. So yeah, it's going to be interesting who finishes above each other in the Facebook 101 league, Apollo and myself. But Cool K says, I think it's going to be 2-0 to us. Yeah, it is great to see the fans back. Great to get a nice atmosphere. 18 says it's going to be 4-0 to the Arsenal. 4-0 to the Arsenal. Apollo's going 3-1 to the Arsenal. 3-1. I'm actually going to go 5-2. 5-2 to the Arsenal today. And Odiya says 3-1. 3-1 to Arsenal. So all of us are going for victories today. It should be great atmosphere, as I say, with fans day if we can get some goals. Good end-to-end game will be good. Hopefully we'll have a treat at around half-time, maybe, if we can get in contact with one or two who have gone up to the game today. All this buffering's killing me, man. Absolutely killing me on my link. Yeah, Brighton wearing our away colours, man. Arsenal have a corner. Pepe crosses it. Oh, Brighton keeper flaps at it. Arsenal still on the ball. Cool Case says we nearly got relegated this season, remember? and United thought they were winning the title after being top of the table for like one match week. Don't get started about Spurs and their overhyped media. This is really shocking. What I say is Spurs fans, all those fans that said the power has shifted, where are they now? '18 says we've had 3 shots already on target at home. Cool K says, gonna miss you guys. Let's have a fun final day together. That's right, man. Let's just, as I say, enjoy the time, enjoy the fellowship that's been great all season. The banter in the chat, on the panel. We've been there together. We've been through the worst and we're still here. So yeah, let's enjoy it, man. Let's enjoy it. Wow. Yeah, Apollo, if you do get that link, just send it on the messenger. Mine is just playing up right now. Afternoon, Greg. What's going on, bro? He says, are they still playing fake crowd noises? No way is an Emirates crowd this loud. Probably not wrong. What's up, bro? Good to see you fighting the good fight, Vincey. Always, man, always. Got the jumper on as well. Got the badge on there. There we go. Finally got the colours wearing. Should be a good atmosphere today, man. I just want goals. That's all I want. Goals. Entertain the fans. You know, regardless of where we finish, that will deal with and handle itself next season. I just want us to put in a decent performance. It's been a tough year for us all. Okay, 1 second. Not a good link, Apollo. Not a good link. It's a good thing. It's good. It's a good thing the wife isn't down here, Apollo. Pressure.
As it's time, Pepe comes across to join him. Brighton marking zone.
Yeah. Thanks, Apollo. Appreciate it. Cheers. Just had to cast it over. Get this full screen. Hey, Curved. What's going on, bro? Apollo says he'll be back in July. Really appreciates the support and love that you all have given to him. What's the score? What's the score of any of the games around the league? Anyone know any? Greg says, "Come on, Everton." Seems like Greg is watching 2 games. Good man. Okay, no goals yet in any of the away games, of any of the games. I'm just hoping Liverpool score a lot because I've got Salah as my captain, and I need to beat Apollo in our Facebook league, and also my nephew. I'm struggling. I'm already relegated one. I'm in relegated bottom of the league in one league, so I'm having a mare this year. Greg says the problem: not many teams brave as Brighton come to Emirates. We'll kill them in the counter. We should do. As I say, this should be an open game today. Wolves seem to be handling themselves very well against Liverpool. I mean, Palace, sorry. Cool Case says Abba is so lazy. Awful footballer, as Bertrand would say. Yeah, it's strange because you think this is the same way how he's performed with his body language and his play on the ball, but throughout his career. But I think his mind is not there right now, and that's something that Apollo has to sort out. What's going on, Bertram? So we can't hear you, buddy.
I'm gonna mute. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What's going on?
Not much. How you doing? Didn't know I could make it today, but worked out.
That's okay. That's okay. We've been having a few shots at goals, but at a goal, but nothing so far. Should be end to end.
Yeah, I'm surprised they put Elneny on the bench, but I guess Xhaka is back. But I thought Elneny played well the last game.
What's going on, Andrew?
Well enough to retain his place anyway.
Oh, 1-0 leads.
I think you're way ahead of me.
I'm on.
Leeds one. What minute are you on?
13 minutes. 2:13.
Okay. I'm ahead of you actually.
14:13. 14:22 now.
Yeah, I'm 15. I think I'm a minute ahead of you.
Okay. What's going on, Andy?
Greetings, Andrew. How you doing?
Apollo, who's your captain today?
So I guess brings to the question is Smith Rowe now ahead of Saka?
I personally, I would have Saka on the bench because he's going to be playing for England, and I think what Arteta's trying to manage him.
Okay. He
Um,
hasn't looked himself the last few games. Not sure what's happening.
so United are ahead 1-0 up. Leeds are ahead 1-0 up. Pepe looks to be a little bit weak. Andrew, should Abba have his own personal coach to work on his control? I think so. I think that's something that will help him with his movement, his passing. He needs that focus to his game and to take it to the next level. His finishing is not the question. It's his control, passing, and willingness to move. And that's, if he wants to improve his game in that area, those are the things that can quite easily be worked on. Apollo says, this is what concerns me if Arteta is trying to do his 4-3-3 next season. With possession-based football, how does Abba fit into it? A guy you can't hold up, play, and can't pass.
Wow, Man City's 2 up already. Everton, not good. Yeah. 14 minutes in.
Yeah, they're rampant. Corke say Abbott can't be bothered running into crosses, nor when a pass comes in between the lines. He can't control it. With a defender behind, why is he here? For the finish,
I think he's looking okay today. He looks a little more, I don't know, maybe it's end of the season. Seems a little more involved.
That's a bit of a better challenge. Yeah, I mean, he's just not motivated. He's just not motivated.
I know we get this perspective from people around motivation, commitment, and sometimes it just comes down to ability. Because I think sometimes we're looking for other things as to why the person does perform at the level we expect. And sometimes it is what, I mean, like for Abba, for example, we've talked about this ad nauseum, which is Abba is a great goal scorer.
Yeah.
But the rest of his game is not what you desire from someone who wants to start week in, week out. So you have to make a trade-off, which is goals are hard to get, the hardest thing you can do in a football field, versus somebody can hold the ball up, move between the lines, get by a player. A lot of those things are not his attributes.
But when I say about motivation, he's a club captain now, and he's put out a video saying that he wants to be a club legend. So that's at the start of this season. So he's not happy, and he definitely needs motivation based on how the team is playing, and that's something that is really not. So Apollo's happy there because Jamie Vardy's finally got his score sheet. I'm not sure if Jamie Vardy's in his dream team or he's more happy that Spurs are losing 1-0.
Maybe both.
He could be both, but I don't have Jamie Vardy. I've got Iniesta, so I'm not happy right now.
Right now we're in what, 8th spot? If things stay the way they are, we don't know about goal difference. Don't know about goal difference, but we need to win today. Brighton is a tough team. They've been doing well all season. They just haven't been scoring goals or getting results.
Good on T.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey,
All
Tony,
good. All good. Greg says, blimey, that Emirates is taking social distance seriously, and every time I see a shot of the fan, my mind tries to find the next strategic move in battleships.
Too slow. Come on, guys.
Andy Oak says, Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer did not contribute anything other than goals. It depends how a team is set up and where a striker is going to receive the ball. Totally.
I wouldn't say that about Shearer.
Shearer was a complete. Shearer was a good player.
Yeah,
All-around player.
Lineker was definitely
poacher.
just the man in the box all the time. But Shearer was different gravy. Got to put him through now.
And the thing is, with Shearer, he was prepared to take
come on, drag that around in Pepe.
From distance, you know.
Shearer scored from anywhere. Head,
absolutely.
Left, right foot, everything. Complete striker. Yep, complete striker.
Yeah. Cool. He says, can't believe I'm actually streaming this from my laptop. Guess I mainly want to see if half the stadium empties at 80th minute as usual.
It depends on the score.
Is Cool K at the game?
No, I don't think so. Okay. Andy's liking your shirt, Tony.
Thank you, brother. By a good friend of mine, actually, an artist who painted the picture. By the name of Patrick Killian __ art on Instagram. Does loads of boxing work. Hey, lucky guy, lucky to be in Spain.
Yeah. Kroenke's at the game today. Josh is at the game today.
Oh, it was a penalty for Vardy.
Yeah. That was long time ago. Scored that ages ago.
Yeah. No, I just saw the goal.
Yeah. So what's been the subject, gentlemen? Are we happy with the team lineup?
It's fine. They're playing okay. Brighton is a tough team.
My disappointment is that I don't know what he gains from having Ceballos on the bench.
Well, I mean, he's paying for him. Might as well put him someplace. He's paying for him. He's paying a loan fee.
I want to see our youths, man. I've seen Josh Kroenke now with Vinay. I just want to see the youths, man. Give them opportunities.
Nah, you gotta take the advantage while you can to see if we can get something with this game. I was very much like you, Tone, because I didn't think there was anything to play for in the last 3 games. But the game that turned me was the Chelsea game, because I wasn't expecting a win. Once we won that, and then Spurs lost and Everton lost, it suddenly opened up a door to go, you know what, we can jump up 2 positions. So all we need right now, both teams are losing. If we can get a win today, we could be in 7th. Now I know that's the bogey position, but actually I'll take that because, as I mentioned in the week, that conference has got a lot of good teams in it. It may not have the money, but ultimately it gives us an opportunity to play some of those players that you've just been alluding to, likes of Aziz and without that European competition, those youngsters are getting very little opportunity this next season. So I know it's not a great competition, but I actually prefer the idea of us being in it and making some money with a weakened squad by way of having more youths playing it. But that's my feeling on that competition.
Yeah, but I think for me, we want to see these youngsters getting opportunity for us to then take confidence saying, yeah, they're going to be part of the team. If they're not making the bench, it's stagnation. So, it's one game. Yes, we need to win the game, but, it's showing confidence in these players, allowing them to say, yeah, you know what, you are the future. Ceballos, he's not here next season. So for me, it's a one game you can sit out. Quite happily sit out for me.
So which Arsenal player do you think has had the best season this season?
The best season? Smith Rowe?
Yeah.
Nah, Smith Rowe really didn't kick in until 3/4 way through the season.
Yeah, but for what he's
looked good, but let's be honest. you know,
Again, this is the point I'm trying to
I think
say.
he's definitely one of our most players that can, you know, that they can say, yeah, I've had a good season. There's no doubt about that. But
So who do you say, Tony, has the best season?
I would say probably Tierney.
Okay, Tierney's had a good season.
I mean, you look at it down as he's had a complete season.
I'm talking about the
even
Premier
with
League, and I'm
injury.
talking about in the Premier League. Which do you think is the best season in the Premier League?
I can't differentiate. You can't differentiate that.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Andy Roach says Spice is probably on a bonus for appearances and starts. Yeah, this is my point. It's like we're saying, Bertram's asking which Arsenal players had the best Premier League this season. They're really reliant on when the manager's playing him. And this is yes, Smith Rowe played half the season, if that, come back from injury. But we needed to see him play in the team so we can see, okay, what's he capable of?
Yeah.
You know, and this is what these youngsters need. They need people who are going to believe in them and they're going to play them. If we
I mean, if we're talking about player of the season, right? You got to put Pepe in there because man was hardly played. He's often played in the worst place where he's getting no support. Yeah, scored 14 goals and 7 assists.
So the Arsenal player,
the team has got more goal and assist contribution. And assist contribution. Yeah. Nobody.
So the Arsenal player who's had the best season is Joe Willock. by a good margin, frankly.
It's not even by a good margin.
It's by a good margin.
No, it's not.
He saved the team from getting relegated. He's had a great season.
He's had a great season. Look. Yeah, fine.
His stats, if you extrapolate his stats, they're not comparable to probably anybody in the Premier League.
That's not
if
true.
If you extrapolate his stats from the games he played versus goals scored.
No, not true. Not true.
Okay, well, how many goals did he score for Newcastle?
7.
How many games he played for them? Started. Exactly.
11?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. There's no comparison.
Okay. So
7 and 11.
Do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. Go work out who has a higher strike per game ratio out of Joe Willock and Pepe, and come back and see me when you know.
Oh no. Pepe would lose.
You think so?
Pepe would be good, but
Pepe didn't start many games, you know.
No. How much of Willock didn't start that game for Newcastle?
Right.
Exactly.
So let's go see. Let's actually go do the math.
Okay, we'll do the math. And we make a bet on it. What we have I like pain. I like
but you have to put in assists as well, right? Goals and assists per game from
Premier League. I said Premier League now. Premier League.
No. You can't do that. You can't come with that.
Vincey, did I say Premier League, Vincey?
Yeah, you did say Premier League, but
okay, good. I'm good with that.
No, player of the season is player
you've got to
of
do the season.
When you do player of the season, you don't have player of the season Premier League only.
I only deal with competition that matters.
Sanchez has gone for just
Come
a two-man
on,
wall.
Bertram, you can't be that biased.
Yes. I only do competition that matters.
Tell him, Vincey.
You can't be that biased, man. It's a season. You've got a season. Just give the love, man.
I'm going to give the stats. I'm going to do the calculation for the stats because I'm almost sure Willock is better than Pepe.
Xhaka goes for it. The wall is well placed and takes the sting.
So what about players that's actually played for us this season?
Tierney and Pepe.
You won't give the love to Holding and El Neni.
It's an up and down season. He's played a lot of games. I know, but if at one point he's in favor, another point he's out of favor, in favor. That's been the same for Pepe too. Tierney's the only one who's been in favor all season.
Joe Willock scores again.
Where's Tony? Tony, you need to come here. Come here, Tony.
And he's in the dream team. And Willock's in the dream team. So Apollo.
Where's Tony? Tony needs to come back here. Come back in, Tony.
Tony,
by the way, Tony. Hey, Tony. Willock just scored again, Tony. Just for your information, Tony, he just scored again. Let me just say that. He can't stop scoring.
That's unbelievable, bro.
No, Martinez is not an Arsenal player anymore, Andrew. I'm saying Arsenal player, because Willock is an Arsenal player still. We haven't sold him. We only lent him to someone.
There must be a goal. There must be a goal.
It's a goal. It's a
Go
goal.
over the line.
Yeah, it went over the line. They said no. Unless it was a handball.
What was that? Offside?
I don't know what happened. It's offside, yeah. Yes, I agree. Come on, Arsenal. He's underrated.
How's he offside?
Definitely, I agree. And this is what I'm saying.
How's he offside from a corner?
I believe in the youngsters. I believe in their individual talent. They just need a manager who's flexible and is prepared to coach and nurture them. We have players who can play football, the football that we appreciate.
Let me say something. Willock's last game, Vincey, he got serenaded. Go ahead.
One second, Bertram. Just to the guys in the chat, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel on YouTube and also on Facebook 101. We have 24/7 banter, pure love, good vibes on Facebook. As you were saying, Bertram.
I forgot. I forgot my train of thought.
No, you're talking about. I was talking about the good football.
I was saying that Willock, his last game, he got serenaded by the Newcastle crowd.
Yeah,
they were singing his name. So when you're a player, when you're an athlete, and the crowd value you, appreciate you, and show that appreciation,
yeah,
why would you want to be that club? And your club, your parent club, basically don't appreciate you. That's why you're on loan. And he scored for us. He didn't get enough game time to demonstrate what he's doing with Newcastle, but it can't be by chance that you're scoring goals against the better teams too, not just scoring goals. A lot of goals against the West Ham, Tottenham, Liverpool.
Bertram, you got to look at the goals he's scoring and the position that he's starting to play.
Exactly.
And this is what we're missing in our team. So this is what I'm saying. When you know, if you're a fan of Arsenal back in the 70s, 80s, and you see players like Michael Thomas, Michael Thomas running through, that is Joe Willock.
Yeah.
Box to box. Yeah, he's not afraid to shoot, not afraid to get in the box, not afraid to track back and put a challenge in. And it's down to the manager if he wants to develop and nurture that type of player, because we have him. It doesn't matter his age, because he can run. And what we're missing, people who've got stamina who can run. Afternoon, Michelle. What's going on?
Hi, Michelle.
Hello, Michelle. Afternoon.
When are you going to come and join us on the live, Michelle?
I know, right? I don't think she's done that all season.
Jump in on the stream. Actually, do you know what, Bertram? Player of the season is actually Saliba.
No, it's still Willock. It's still Willock.
Player of the season, man who can't even get into the first team. Yeah, he's not even a first team regular. Man who can't get selected.
But that's Willock. You're describing Willock.
Tell it, Tom.
Nah.
Yeah,
Willock has some love. Willock has some love in the League Cup. He's played in Europe. Yeah.
Where he scored, by the way, Vincey. Scored more than multiple goals. Scored against Liverpool, scored in other games. Still can't get any love.
Saliba's gone abroad, so I'm sorry.
But he's playing in a lesser league. So there's some qualification there.
It's not a lesser league, guys. Talent is talent, man.
No, it's a lesser league.
Yeah.
They leave and come to the big leagues.
Nah.
I can't believe Tony's saying that. Do you think the French league is equivalent to the Premier League?
Bertram, seriously.
Seriously, does it have to be?
Seriously.
Does it have to be?
Come on.
Because by that same analogy, Gabriel Martinelli was a pub footballer before he came to Arsenal.
I never said anything about pub. Be very careful with those classification and qualification of what I said.
Sorry,
said it's
mate.
a lesser. I
Second
didn't say pub.
division of Brazilian football is pub football.
No. Let me say this. I didn't say that the French league was a pub league. Because the analogy we're using, I said it's a lesser league.
Yeah.
Just like the European basketball league is a lesser league to the NBA.
Yeah, but
So
players
That's a better analogy.
Let's
But you
just
gotta-
work this out. Who are the world champions in football right now?
In terms of what?
What nation has the best players in the world right now?
Oh, the nation that has all its players playing overseas.
Really? Which one?
Yes. Benzema, Kante.
Yeah, which country is that?
Let me finish. I'm
Which
giving
country is that?
Pogba, all those players playing overseas.
Yeah, which country is it?
Varane, all playing overseas in the better
Which
league.
country is it though?
France.
Right.
Yes,
Where
they
did
export all
they
their
learn
players.
to play football? Where did all their players learn to play football?
But you're missing the point though, Tony. I said the league.
You're missing the point, brother. The point is they learned to play good football in France. They didn't learn to play in England. They didn't learn to play in France, in Spain, in Germany, in Italy. They learned in France.
Right, I hear you. Where did Porzingis learn to play basketball? Where did what's his name to play point for Dallas learn to play basketball? Where does Norwich learn to play basketball? All these great players I'm talking about, where they learn to play? In Europe. Where's the best league? The NBA. That's the analogy you're making. It's not where you get, they all get accumulated in one league, the Premier League. They all go where the money is. That's where the competition is the stiffest. That's where it's more difficult to shine. You have an accumulation of talent in the Premier League because it's the league with the most money, and then it's more difficult to perform.
Okay, so what you're doing is you're aligning quality of football with the amount of money that is generated in the league. That's
money being able to buy. Money being able to buy quality players. Money being able to buy quality players to play in the one league.
But the thing is,
you buy them, you play in the one league. Huh? Go ahead.
But the thing is, you have to be able to spot talent. Talent is the key thing, because one thing is that when England had money in the Premiership, they still weren't playing decent football.
Yeah, but it's changed. Here's the thing. Syria in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s was the best league in the world, right? The Gullets, the Van Basten, accumulation of talent was in Syria, wasn't the Premier League. Money came into the Premier League. The talent drift to where the money is. That's why it's the best league in the world. That's why it's a global brand. That's why it's made Syria and even La Liga less important.
So let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you a question. The best league is the best league. Best league for entertainment.
Let me ask you a question. Where was Van Basten from internationally?
Holland. What do you mean?
Hullet, Rijkaard.
Yes, exactly.
All of
You're making my point. You're making my point, Tony.
The school of Holland football.
You're making my point, Tony. Football. You're making my point. Is the Dutch league comparable to the Premier League? So go with your point.
Is the Dutch league a pub team league then? Yeah.
No, Tony. It's a lesser league.
In the world for 10 years.
It's a lesser league. It's a. Okay, Tony. That analogy. Let's take it to Boston. Let's take it. No, you know what, Tony? Go to your arena.
No. I'll give up. You win. I'm not going to argue with you.
No, but Tony, you know you're wrong. Come on.
No, you win.
Now the thing is,
I've conceded.
No, Bertram. The thing is, it doesn't matter what league you're in. You must be able to spot talent.
No, Vinci, I'm not disputing that at all.
And the thing is, the competitiveness of the league doesn't necessarily mean that all the talent is there.
Thank you, Tone. Tone, the other thing I'm going to say, just to justify that, is you don't have to only spot talent, you have to develop talent. So let's be honest, Holland, for at least 20 years, developed some of the best players in the world. No one can argue that.
Agreed.
Then it went to France. And for the last 20 years, France has produced the best players in the world, bar no other country.
But I'll say this, though. England is now making a lot of progress in that area.
Why?
Producing a lot of talent. A lot of talent England is producing.
Why?
Because they probably emulated. Well, it was Holland. Then you have France. In before that was Germany, then France, and now England is on the back end is doing the same thing. Everybody, it's a copycat. It's a copycat world. Everybody emulates someone else who's doing it. What method they employ. Then you know what? I bring to my environment. And England now has more money to inform their academy. They hire the best coaches, and therefore they can produce quality players.
Okay, so before I address that point, I want to respond to Greg G's question. We would be insane, absolutely insane, to sell Joe Willock.
We can't sell our best player. No, I'm just kidding. We can't sell a player who's gone away and shown that he has quality to play in the Premier League. It's like selling Martinez and being showed up. I'm sure they should have learned their lesson from that.
However, what I would say to Greg's question
Next season,
is every player has a price.
Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Xhaka. That was the old team, except a few players. He scored more goals than a lot of our. That's embarrassing, for a lesser team. It's harder to score goals for a lesser team than a more dominant team when you're playing forward. And from a deep midfield area, from a lesser team, a deep midfield area, all those things combined, and yet he still has better scoring than a lot of our players who have more game time. It's sad. Huh?
As I said midweek, I'd only start taking calls if they start at 60 mil.
I wouldn't take any call. Sorry, not taking any call.
I wouldn't sell him, but I'm saying minimum 60.
Because you got to go and say, well, you know what? At some point, you can rebuild the whole team with the money earned if you sell right. I mean, people would say I'd be absolutely mad to sell Bukayo Saka, but I've said it before. If you get the right amount of money and you can rebuild four world-class players from the sale of one, you'd be a fool not to take the money.
Goal-scoring midfielders are not a dime a dozen.
No.
They are precious commodities and should be treated that way.
Which is why Emi Buendia right now is looking like God. Because his goals and assists this season are ridiculous.
Yeah. But it's not at this level, right? So we got to get at this level. It's good, but it's not at this level.
Bertram, quality is quality.
And that's what I'm saying. You're talking about.
I agree, but let me just say something. Think about Watkins, for example, who scored a ton of goals in the championship. He's sure he can play Premier League football in his quality, but he's not scoring the same number of goals. The stats drop precipitously when you leave championship to come to the Premier League.
I said the same about.
I saw that, Tony.
I said the same about Patrick Bamford last season. I said he's never going to score the goals that he scored, but look at he scored them.
Yeah, no, he scored.
I have to hold my hands up because at the start of the season, I said Patrick Bamford is overrated. And I said Danny Ings is overrated.
Yeah. You were just wrong on Danny, but that's another story.
I was not just wrong on Danny. I was wrong on Danny. I was wrong on Cavani. I was wrong on Bamford. A lot of players who I thought weren't going to be that great this season have proved me wrong. And I hold my hand up and say, I got it wrong.
So I saw a list of the 11 worst Premier League players. I don't know who compiled the list. I think I'll send it around. And we had 3 players on the list.
Yeah. The worst 11.
The worst 11, yeah.
I'm
not sure who compiled that list and the criteria used, but we had 3 players, yeah.
And those 3 players were?
Bellerin, William, and Aubameyang.
Wow. So for all the Aubameyang lovers,
we should say
they must be going loopy.
We should say worst performing players, because you can't say worst players, worst performing this season.
Can I ask where the source of that data was from?
I don't know. I think Aubameyang circulated it. I mean, I think I thought Apollo sent it around actually.
I posted it.
Okay. Was it
all fans are blind?
Was it like one of them who scored statistics for the whole season?
No, it's on ESPN.
Okay. So they normally do some good statistics. They normally base it around, what your contribution is through the game. And it's no surprise then. I'm surprised by Bellerin, in all honesty.
Why doesn't play enough?
Me too, because he's
No,
done
the
well
fact
with
that he's
assists.
on that list. I'm surprised
done
that he's on
he's
that list,
done
but I'm
with
not
assists.
surprised by was it Ceballos, did you say?
No, William and
Abba.
Abba.
Yeah.
William and Abba.
William and
Tony, I
Abba,
think-
no surprise.
I think it's the expectations that people have for Bellerin as opposed to what he actually does on the pitch. Because this season he has done well with assists. So
Yeah.
he just gets a rough deal with fans.
Well, my hope is that we have a better season next season. It's getting to be the norm now to be irrelevant, and it's not a good feeling. We got to figure out a way to change direction of travel. It's not
18,
good.
straight up. You know why I love some Bellerin? Because remember when Debussy got injured? And this guy was sitting. This guy was a youth. And I checked his scouting reel. And exactly the style of play that we needed. Yeah, that guy just came in 18 and just played like he's so experienced. That's why I love Bellerin. Because I can see the ability of players, and if managers use that to their advantage, get somewhere. And at the end of the day, he's lived the Arsenal dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a youngster, captain,
Absolutely.
played for a long period of time. You know, people may say he's not an Arsenal legend, but he's lived the Arsenal dream.
Yeah, he's not an Arsenal legend, but he has had a good innings. And to actually make the point about his development at Arsenal, it took until this season for him to get an international call-up.
Yeah.
That tells you something.
Well, some of that has to do with the country you're playing for, right? Because Spain is a difficult side to get in when he first started out.
Yeah, but he's playing at a top-level team since he was about, 11, 12, 13, whatever the age he came. Yeah.
Barcelona.
Yeah, he's been playing at top-level football for Barcelona and Arsenal. That is top draw. And the fact that he was not even a third choice at Spain tells you that he never really quite got where we saw his ceiling. Because that's what you got to consider. Where did we see Bellerin's ceiling? When he broke up onto the scene, we were thinking like, here comes the new Cafu, here comes the new, nobody could run as fast as him. Not even Thierry Henry.
Yeah, but we also remember that he tore his ACL. Yeah. It's like Theo and the Ox. When they tear your ACL, they're never the same. Most times they're never the same.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree.
He hasn't been the same.
Yeah, totally agree. But I just think, it's disappointing that he's I believe he's just naturally come to the end of his time at Arsenal.
Yeah, his time should have been last year, I think. But look, he's been a good servant of the club.
Yeah.
He's done his best, and we can't knock a player if they have sort of lost some kind of form and not producing as they should. And we all have a limited amount of time to do what we do in life, and that's just one of them. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Yes. Andy's not around. Spurs are draw. They're tying at the moment. They're tied 1-1 with Leicester. It's gonna be interesting end of the season because Chelsea's losing 1-0. Leicester's tied, and I think Liverpool was tied. No, Liverpool leading 1-0. Liverpool will win. They'll win. They got lucky. They keep saved their season. But this will be what, our 5th season out of the Champions League. It's getting to be a habit.
Apollo, I need to know who you got on your dream team. If you the guys who scored, because we won the same points. I've got Kane, so I need Salah to score. That's probably why I caught you up. No worries, man. Is it halftime on your screen, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's halftime. It's halftime.
Okay.
Let's hope we have a better season next season than this season. We keep saying that season after season since Wenger left.
It's gonna be the same.
It's actually a funny thing because I heard Arteta's interview a couple of days back, and he really believes he's improved the team. And I could understand some of what he says, and he's always going to back it up by saying, "I got more points than I did last season." Yeah, but let's be honest. This team, and I believe a better manager with this same team gets at least 5th place.
Yeah, look, I think part of the problem is
I know what you're saying that about we haven't got 5th place quality players, but good managers do that kind of stuff, and that's what Wenger used to do. Wenger used to take 6th, 7th, and 8th place talent and put them top 4.
I think Wenger played to players' strengths, right? I think he didn't focus on the weaknesses that much. That's why we sometimes struggle defensively. If you're Ian Ramsey, you score a goal, that's what you do. You don't worry about the defensive part. So there's always that balance you got to achieve, which Arteta is trying to achieve. So when you try to, enhance the defense, it takes away from going forward. I think he's struggling with what's the right balance. I also think that he's made some atrocious decisions, game time or otherwise, selection and game time, which has hurt the team. So, for example, continue playing William when he wasn't producing, which then, if you're not a player in William's position, you're like, what's happening here? I'm not getting a run, but he's getting to play. If I'm Nelson or I'm Martinelli and William is always playing and I'm saying, no, I'm fit now, why can't I get a chance? Because he's not producing, you're not doing that. Or you stick with Ceballos sometimes, or Ceballos get a card and you don't take him out of the game. There are things you do which just says you're missing the in-game management. And also your selections are questionable. Like he hasn't had, there's been some injuries, but he hasn't had the same back 4 all season. In the middle of the park, when he had players available, he's mixed and matched and chopped his front line, and his midfield hasn't been consistent. So it does seem like he's not totally sure what his best team is. And that has showed up throughout the season. Do I play El Nene? Do I play Xhaka? Do I play Ceballos? Partey is injured. It's been a mix and match season, given some of his best players. Aubameyang with the malaria. There's been a lot of excuses you can make, but overall, I think he could be in a better place if he made better decisions.
Personally, I think from a fan of football, Arteta's let himself down with his management, his style of play. That's affected the players. It's affected the old players and it's affected the young players because he was not playing players on form. And that's the one thing that will kill a team. And a team of our stature, you don't expect that to happen. A manager is not picking players on form, especially when you have so many youngsters who know that the club is supposed to be rebuilding and investing in youth. So, yes, it's been difficult. Every season there's going to be injuries. There's going to be suspensions. There's going to be something going on. I don't use those things as excuses. That's part of football. I just think it's when we are saying now that, we hope next season's going to be a lot better. I think it's going to be more of the same. New players are going to come in and they're going to show form. But Arteta's got to decide on how he's going to integrate youngsters into the team because they're chomping at the bit. And if you stagnate them again, based on the Euros that's going to come in the summer and then the World Cup that's going to come next year, you cannot stagnate these youngsters who've got ambition, who want to play for Arsenal and also want to play for their national team. So as a manager, Arteta's going to have to find the best way forward for Arsenal with these youngsters in the team. He's got to do it.
So, Vincent, that's a catch-22, right? So as a manager, you're thinking about who gives me the best chance to win. because I don't have the timeline that one may say to develop players and try to maximize their capabilities. I have to be winning now. Okay, if I don't win now, I don't have a job. So there's a self-interest element to how you manage a team. You're not managing for the organization and what's best for the organization long term. You're more immediate in your focus because your job depends on it. Your survival depends on it. Who give me the best chance to win? And that's the dilemma that a manager has to sort of struggle with and have to manage and determine. But I do think, look, Arteta didn't play youngsters because he thought it was the best approach. He played them against Chelsea because he had no other choice. And they came through in that game. We won 3-1. And that springboarded him utilizing youngsters sort of going forward quite a bit. I mean, Saka was playing, but Smith Rowe wasn't playing. Tierney was playing. So he had some youngsters in the team before, but the more usage of youngsters materialized during when Aubameyang was out and Laka was playing with those youngsters around him, running around, and he can hold the ball up. See, they play better with Aubameyang because he can be like a Firmino playing for us. Hold the ball up, lay it off to them, go back in the hole, put them through. We don't have that same situation with Abba because Abba doesn't play that type of game. So I don't know what we do going forward. Do you bring Saliba back? Do you bring Willock back? Do they get into the team? How does Martinelli get reintegrated into the team? Do you just play youngsters? There's a bunch of youngsters now. Our team is getting younger by getting rid of what Tony called deadwood, right? We get rid of Kolasinac and the Ozil. We have the Martinellis, the Tierney's, the Saka, the Willock, the Salibas, the Gabriels. They're all very young, by the way. Even the people like Chambers are not old, mid-20s. The Holdings are not old. Are those good enough quality? Coupled with the Tierneys who we think are very good. Gabriel who could be very good when he cut out his mistakes. Smith Rowe could be very good. Saka could be very good. Willock could be very good. So I don't think the future is dark or not, the prospect doesn't look good. The problem is how do you get the right combination, the right experience married with the youth to propel us forward?
But the key thing that you've said there is those players, those youngsters, we played our best football with those youngsters. So again, we're talking about productivity. That's what all a manager needs. He's not focused on about, we're going to play this player because they need appearances. This season has shown long enough that senior players have failed the club big time. Okay. Now, the problem is his job is on the line because he's failing to make those decisions early. I can't forgive him for that. If he does it again next season, I can't forgive him again because he is training with these guys. He has to develop a system of play. I'm saying it again. Remember I said early on in the season, as around October, what is our system of play? We had no passion, no pace, nothing. When the kids came on, we started to show a semblance of that. So a manager next season or in pre-season, he has to develop a system of play that's going to get the best out of the players that he's got. No excuses.
Yeah, he has a dilemma, right? So here's our problem. So I said that the other day to someone, which is we made 4 signings in the last window. Take out the Gabriel Odesai. So we signed William, we re-signed Abba, we signed Cedric, and there's someone I'm missing, and Cedric doesn't play. Abba's not been too good. What was the other person I just mentioned? So Cedric, William has not been good. There are no players we signed who have not produced based on how they performed in the past. You
Luiz.
Can't legislate for that. You can't necessarily figure that out. You don't have that crystal ball to say, no, this was going to happen. So that's what we run into, is you can't have so many players out of so-called form in the same timeline. It doesn't work. And think about it this way. So William still has 2 more years. William has 2 more years left. So does Abba. Cedric has 3. You can't even get rid of them.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You can. You can't. I mean, let's not forget. Just because you sign a contract 1 year doesn't mean you can't be sold the next year.
No. Tony.
I understand Miami are very interested in taking Willian, and we know we all, to a man, all 3 of us, and most of the fans watching, would be happy to see Willian move on.
So let me rephrase that. Unless the player decides to leave, you can't get rid of them. That's a fact.
Of course you can.
No, you can't.
Of course you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
They can go play the other 23, Tony. They can go sit in the other 23 like Ozil was doing and get paid. He has a contract. 2 more years.
Yeah,
You can't get rid of him until he leaves. You
okay,
can't get rid of him.
So the Ozil situation is the extreme of player defiance against a club. But let's not forget, Bertram. 8 out of 10 times a player moves on. It's not the player saying, I'm out. It's the club saying, see you later.
Yeah, but Tony, it's hard to get rid of somebody making 220 and not producing, right?
Okay,
It's
hard.
much harder.
I'm not denying it's hard, but it's not impossible.
No, I agree. I mean, if Miami wants him, I think he should go tomorrow, right?
Real Madrid have got a plethora, and so have Barcelona, plethora of players, over 100 grand in their squad, all not playing for their team.
But Tony, they can't get rid of Bale. Bale's a perfect example.
Exactly. But
They're
you
paying
can
Bale
still
now?
do
Wait.
something. You can
Tony.
still do something to ensure that player is not at your club.
I understand, Tony.
Your club.
But it's not optimum, Tony, because Bale is being paid, what, 400,000 a year by Real Madrid?
Yeah.
400, think about it, not to play for me.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay somebody. We don't have that kind of money.
I'm not saying what you're saying is 100% wrong, but I'm saying it's not impossible.
Yes, I agree.
It happens all the time. We
I
see
agree.
players on big money going to other clubs and they end up paying part of the money. Mauro Icardi went to PSG for 1 season. He was getting paid and the club were just happy to have him out of the club.
No,
and then
I
they
agree.
made the deal permanent.
45 minutes to save our season has just started. 45 minutes, guys.
Our season already lost, Vincey.
No. This is our season, man. You got.
I don't want to play Conference League or Conference whatever.
You got kids with tears in their eyes.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play Bush League.
Though.
Come on, by me. I run by him.
Under Spurs.
Yeah. I remember the days when we used to complain about finishing in top 4. And Wenger has to go because you know what?
Sure.
Without finishing top four is not good enough.
It was wrong.
Because we had, the thing is, we had players in the club we should have been doing better.
Oh, how's he offside?
No, he had a bunch of, he made them look good. Sorry. He made a lot of players look good. We had some bad players.
Yeah, we did.
Sender Ross of the world, the Sender Ross and Sonogos. Yeah, some bad players. It was starters.
Shamak.
Yeah, bad players.
We had bad players, bro.
Yeah, we had bad players.
And then he would do some stupidness like sell your boy. Who's your boy at Villarreal?
Oh, Coughlin.
Yeah. What kind of stupidness was that?
Yeah. Well, did he buy Jacques at the same time? He must. I think that's a replacement, right?
Yeah, that's right. That was a big mistake.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well.
He bought Xhaka because Zola kept on getting injured. So we needed somebody who could hold him pass in the centre. That's why he bought Xhaka.
This game is lacking intensity.
So I hate to say this, but you'll see it. You'll see it. But Tony is getting closer between me and you, but you'll see it. Man has a right foot. Who would tell? Man has a right foot. It's getting closer. Who's the player of the season?
Whatever Willett can do, Pepe can do.
Do us well, not better. Do us well, not better. It's a brilliant touch to score, It's a brilliant touch.
My guy.
Yep. He's showing his work. He's coming through. He's showing his work. You know what I think, Tony? You know, Tony? His game has improved,
Yes.
On the defensive side, right?
Yes, I agree.
On the defensive side, his game has improved significantly.
Yep. Good assist by Chambers. That's great football. Nice.
I think Chambers has played well out there, Doesn't have the speed, but his crossing is good. He's played well out there.
Yeah. But we know we can do better than Chambers. That's the interesting
I don't think we should sell players like Chambers. He should be a backup.
No, you don't sell him.
I'm not a Chambers out guy. I'm not, because you know what? He could play a CDM role. He can play centre back, and he can play right back. So why would you get rid of that?
I agree. That versatility is important. Like a Saka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
What do you do with Maitland-Niles?
No, but this is what I'm saying, Bertram. This is the reasons why, you know, I have to question what a manager does. You have a player like Maitland-Niles, he wanted to stay at the club, and for foolishness that's gone on the club, is the reason why he's not there. You know, you cannot make excuses and keep backing up this nonsense, especially for a self-sustainable club. Can't do it.
I truly believe Arsenal have talent sufficient to challenge top 5 positions in the league. Send him out. Down.
Is that why is Holding not in the play? Why is Holding not in that play a while ago? That's what I want to know.
I'm not sure. I'd have to let me see it again.
He doesn't need to be.
Just look straight forward.
No, Holding should be in the picture.
Oh, he was well off the pace.
He should be in the picture, but the player run off him. They should be in the picture.
Yeah. He was ball watching.
He should be in the picture.
I'm not to this. I'm not to.
Chambers should be the one chasing. Chambers should be the one chasing on the play.
So I'm not.
Right. Yeah.
It's not on my screen yet.
Right.
It's not on my screen yet, guys.
Okay.
Yeah. When you see it, Holding his ball watching. It's amateurish.
You should be looking at the play, where the players are moving, where they're going, on your toes.
No, you can't defend him on that one, Apollo. That was poor.
Yeah, it was ball watching. Yeah. You see, Bertram, here's the thing. Yeah. If you looked at David Alaba down at Bayern Munich, how would you rate him as a player?
I think he's an excellent player. I think he's a very versatile player. He can play. He can play midfield. He can play centre back. He can play any of the left or right back.
Okay, so
he's on a free.
Huh? Well, he's expensive. No, Tony's expensive. Tony's expensive.
No,
he's on free.
He wants ridiculous salary.
No, he's expensive. But the reason the point I'm trying to make,
more than William. Much more than William.
The point I'm trying to make is, you see David Alaba and his versatility, you have Maitland-Niles. Okay? So if you have Maitland-Niles at a club of Arsenal stature, why are we allowing a player of that caliber to leave?
I wouldn't say Maitland-Niles and them are the same. They are maybe the same in terms of versatility, but in terms of quality, there's a big difference.
Well, one's younger and one can develop. I mean, we got to stop putting caps on what players can achieve. The guy's young. And look what he's doing.
But Vincey, the last game he played when he went on a loan, he played a left back and he was not good. I'm going to be nice by just saying not good. That's one of the reasons. He's not as consistent. When he plays against a very skillful forward with pace, he plays brilliantly. But when he gets the ball offensively to go forward and make plays from like the left back situation, it becomes a challenge for him.
That should have been a pen, right, Bertram?
I thought so, but the ref didn't give it, so it's not a pen.
Surely VAR has to look at it.
Yeah, no, I thought he got pushed, actually.
You have to look at it at the very minimum. You have to look at it. That's your job. I've seen a potential foul in the area. There's sufficient time to look and go, hang on, let me just have a look.
Yeah, let me see the replay. I want to see the replay again after. They're not showing the replay, though. I'm not sure why. I think he's asking the referee as to why. Oh, that's a penalty. Well,
all those guys who were laughing at me when they're saying our goal difference is going to get us into...
It's a pen, Tony. It's a pen.
Our goal difference was going to get us into Europe.
It's from behind. It's a pen.
That's terrible.
Have a look at that. Have a look at that table that Apollo just put up there. Our goal differences have got us there. 15 goals.
That is such a pen. How he's not even got close to the ball.
Yeah, no, he didn't touch the ball. He bullied the play over. It's a pen. If it was in the middle part, they'd give a free kick.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And when your player put his hands up in the air, Tony, you know he's guilty, right?
Yeah.
When he puts his hands up, you know he's guilty.
You just have got to say, have a look.
Yeah. I would concur on that.
I'm getting bored of Aubameyang. I really want to see Lacazette. He makes such a difference in this team.
Bertram, he will learn so much more when he move in offensive position. Are you talking, Andrew? You talking about AMN?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I watch for West Brom because I watch all the games that he plays and Willa plays. Today may be the only day I'm not watching their games. And Willa plays well, even not just scoring goals. Some games he weren't playing well, that's why he's on the bench. But he's played well a number of games. He's always in position to score. While Minimal doesn't always play well. He doesn't, offensively, he's just not there.
I'll tell you what, if Chelsea miss out on Champions League and we beat Tottenham, that would just be a dream day.
Yeah.
I think he made the right call, the referee.
Sorry, guys.
Somebody's noise in the background. Who's that?
Hold on, that's me. Hold on.
This season.
Just casting my stream just died. I have to cast to the big screen.
So Leeds are up 2. Leicester's leading 2-1 against Tottenham, leading the game. West Ham doing well. Man United was.
This is actually. This is as good as it gets right here, right now. If the whistle was to blow on all games, this is as good as it gets.
It's gonna change though before the day is over.
You know that, Apollo.
Oh, that's a great ball.
Vardy's had another penalty.
Oh,
a lot of penalties, isn't it? He knows how to get them and score them.
Wow.
What do you guys think of Ivan Toney?
I haven't seen enough to make comment, but what I have seen looks good.
Yeah.
But it's those highlights that you see at the weekend of when you see highlight football and you go, oh, he's a player.
Yeah.
But you don't see 90 minutes. It's like St. Maximum. If you look at his highlights, he looks a world beater. But 90 minutes of football, I'm not really convinced.
No, I'm convinced. I'm convinced.
For 90 minutes.
I'm convinced. If you put him in a good team, I don't think you can mark him.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Whoa.
Is he going to defend? Is he going to defend, Bertram? Is he going to defend?
Same team
That's a problem.
Joe Willock.
Huh?
Is St. Maxim not in the same team as Joe Willock?
Yeah, but Maxim has had a terrible injury this season. No.
Oh,
He had a bad. No. Wait. Tony, listen to me. And by the way, he's giving Willock assists. He's giving Willock assists. Let me just say this.
Bertram Bayless, yeah. Bertram Bayless.
No, listen.
Bertram Bayless.
I didn't hear that.
Bertram Bayless.
No, listen to my point. He's had a bad case of COVID. I've had COVID. No.
Skip. Come on,
No,
skip.
I've had COVID. No, I've had COVID. I'm telling you.
Skip.
I had COVID for 3 weeks. It's not a fun thing. To be a footballer, he was out for like 2 months with COVID.
Oh, but
and yet when he comes
Tony,
Tony,
still be giving it that.
Tony, since he came back, he's been running people ragged. No, he has to finish. He has to do a better job of finishing and assisting. But I'm telling you, you cannot mark him.
Brother, I hear what you're saying, and I see the talent. I agree with the talent. The talent is phenomenal. My problem is the assist and the goals.
I don't disagree.
Return.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Don't disagree. He has to do better with that, but I'm telling you, he's better than Traore. I like Traore too.
The same things we used to say about Pepe at the start of the season and the end of last season, I would attribute now to St. Maximum.
Yeah.
Oh, Aston Villa 2-0 up.
The boy's on form. He's ahead of me. Tony, I gave an eyeball to you, Tony. My boy's on form. He's on form. He's on form. Maybe the new Thierry Henry. My boy's on form. You guys will see it. He's on form. He's on form.
Oh!
That was pretty. That was pretty. That was pretty. That was pretty.
Oh, yes, sir.
That was pretty.
Yes, sir.
He's on form.
He's in my dream team. He's in my dream team.
Oh, yes, sir.
And you know what, Tony? Odegaard is nice when he has to be. Odegaard's passing is at the right pace.
Yeah.
You know what he did a while ago? He looked off the defender, you know, Tony. He looked off the defender. He glanced inside.
Yeah.
Went between his legs. Yeah. You can't teach that. You can't teach that. He's looking wide all the time.
Nice.
Went between his legs. Far corner. I think he's showing up Arteta too. He's showing up Arteta. Arteta would say he improved him. Well, he's now 10 goals for the season?
Yeah.
Premier League. Yeah.
That came from a driving run from Xhaka in midfield.
Xhaka to Odegaard to Pepe. Yep.
Yeah.
All left footers, by the way. What are your thoughts on Basuma? Think we should pursue him?
I think we should.
I think he's tidy. I think he's a tidy player. I think, a player who, I'm not going to count today. I'm going to count on the sum total of what I've seen in the season, and I've seen enough to say he's a tidy player. He would work well in a pivot with Partey.
There's a comment here for you, Bertram, from Cool K.
Okay.
He says last week Bertram said Pepe can't beat a man, and he's beat two.
No. Let me rephrase that. Pepe hasn't beaten a man all season until last week. I'm sorry, but he wasn't. Guys, I watch him every week. He wasn't beating any player. Last week was the first. Look, we've all said, I've said it before, he's one of the most skillful players you can go onto YouTube and watch. I've said that numerous times. When he was in France, he beat a lot of players. When he came to Premier League, he wasn't beating anyone because he was turning the ball over. He has gotten his confidence. He's playing better now. He wasn't beating anybody. So, yes, Cool K, I said that. And he's not proving me wrong because this is the last game of the season, or last week was the second to last. But he has confidence. When you have confidence, he can do miracles. Odegaard's a keeper. It all depends on how much he costs. Okay, I'm not wrong. He hasn't beaten a man all season. He ain't go by any. He lose more balls than he went by players. Why do you think the coach was benching him? If he was beating man like Grealish or like St. Maximin, then he would have been on the field because he'd be creating chances. The good thing about this, Cool K, is that we have tapes of what I've said in the past. So I'll be clear on this. When they interviewed Abba and Laka, they said he's the most skillful player on the team. That was a fact, but he wasn't beating anybody. Now he still is not doing it anyway, not consistently.
Moses says we nearly ended Pepe's after that red card. Everything depends on Arteta now. Good point there, Moses.
And you know what? It just goes to show you. Most people would say, play Saka there because he's more effective. But actually,
he's not, Tony. I've been saying that he's not. He doesn't score enough. He doesn't score enough.
He doesn't
score enough.
Which is why I said for every player on the pitch, there's a price for every player.
Yeah.
Cool K said, are we talking about the same guy who went past Van Dijk like a metro train?
Yes, Cool K, in his first game. Yes, Cool K. Go back and check the tape subsequent to that, especially the beginning of the season. I said that before also, Cool K. When Emery isolated him on Van Dijk and he had him spinning around, so he had also Robertson spinning around. Yes, that was the case. Hasn't done it since. And he was losing the ball like Sanchez.
Listen, the point is, I half agree with you, Bertram. He has had a shocking dribbles past ratio this season. But we saw some amazing touches last year which showed how good a footballer he really is. You know,
So Tony, you can't have it both ways.
like,
You can't have it both ways, Tony. You can't have it both ways. You can't talk about St. Maximum that way and then say giving Pepe allowances. You gotta give both allowances then.
yeah, but the thing is, yeah, Pepe's goals and assists last season were amazing, and he's done the same again. He's improved. So
I wouldn't use the word amazing. They were good, not amazing.
but mate, a guy plays on the wrong side of the pitch to that which he's most effective at. He has nobody working alongside him in the same way that you would, for instance, say you had a Tierney on your left-hand side who constantly bombs forwards and creates opportunities for you inside.
Agreed.
Yeah, but yet still, he's creating and he's scoring. So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to say he's having an amazing season.
Yeah, but here's my view on that, which is amazing season of people like Grealish before he got injured. That was amazing season.
But he's an amazing player.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, so Pepe was bought for 70 mil, so he should be an amazing player by his price tag, right? His price tag says he should be an amazing player. Yeah, it's a fact. Our highest purchase ever
but what are you
by
going to
about
say,
20%.
Bertram? Are you saying that he's not had an amazing season? When you look at his minutes on the pitch,
he's had a very good season. It's not amazing. No, it's not amazing. It's not amazing. Good season, but not amazing. If he was amazing,
who else in the Premier League scores goals like his quality?
So Tony, if he was amazing, everybody be talking about it.
Okay, but this is the thing. He's quietly having a very good season. I might have overcooked it by saying amazing, but the reason I like to say amazing is he doesn't score tap-ins, bro.
I agree. He scored good goals.
Yeah. Who else in the league is scoring goals like that?
Who else in the league is scoring goals? But it all depends, right? Harry Kane still scores ridiculous goals. Ridiculous goals. From all angles. All angles. But I'm just saying, even Foden is scoring decent goals. Foden is not scoring tap-in for a kid who's less than 20 years old. He's scoring very good goals. I'm just trying to think through the league. It's not one of those seasons where you see a lot of players scoring a lot of goals. Salah scored a lot of good goals.
You know, all the names you mentioned are amazing players.
Yes, they are amazing players.
Yeah. I have no problem in putting Pepe just underneath those amazing players and saying he's of that ilk. He's just a step away. He's just a step away. He's just a step away from going into that next tier.
Look, I think Pepe, I've always said this, Pepe is very talented, but sometimes that talent doesn't manifest himself in terms of how he plays. Come, Gabriel, show some patience. Give him Nono Smith. Give him now.
So does it look like now that Harry Kane's going to be? Is it joint top goal scorer?
I think they came in that way, so he may be ahead now, right?
Yeah. 62 minutes gone. Salah still hasn't had a
come on,
really.
Babby, trying too hard.
What's that, Apollo?
See, that showed the deficiency Aubameyang has. You got 4 men running in the box. You go for goal on your left foot when you're.
Pepe trying an audacious chip. It didn't come off. That's audacious.
Oh yeah.
He should have put his foot through it.
Yeah.
I think defensively, that's where I've seen a lot of improvement. That commitment to work for the ball.
Yeah.
A lot of improvement.
I do admit he has worked a hell of a lot on his defensive side of his game.
Yep.
Yeah, I just saw the Aubameyang shot. Shocking.
Yeah, he hasn't had the best season, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I just think, this game would be a lot different if Lacazette's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just get so much more when Laka's playing.
He's almost feel like Arteta feel like he's forced to play Aubameyang. Not sure why.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's like the Willian syndrome now. With Willian has turned into Aubameyang. I have to play you no matter how badly you're playing.
Yeah, they were gonna make a change. Saka is warming up. Why did they put Laka in for Abba though? I don't understand that.
Yeah,
Maybe he's gonna take off Smith Rowe, I would think.
He's had a bit of a quiet second half.
I think Pepe is now solidified himself in the team. Victor said Pepe only looks good when he gets an opponent who gives him space. You make him tight, he loses the ball and fails. I don't know about that. I think he's had more confidence from playing more.
So Moses was asking Apollo, why do we want to sell Laka? Well, I've basically been saying at the start of the season that Laka's literally playing for a new contract because Arsenal have to make a decision on him at the end of this season. And we really need to start to recoup value from players as opposed to rewarding them with contracts, expensive contracts. So the dilemma with Lacazette is that a 30-year-old, you're going to have to give him a huge contract, and it just doesn't make sense. You know, look how we were a young team, but we need to move forward better on the pitch. So for me, I've always been on the mindset Lacazette was going to be going at the end of the season. Apollo says, Moses is not a good move for the team. He's 30 and looking for a mint, and we cannot give it to him. We can try to lowball him and see if he bites.
I mean, you know, now is the time to take advantage of Lacazette's last season at Arsenal. You know, he scored a decent number of goals. He hasn't never got to that magic number of 20 goals, even when he was the first and only striker. He's short again this season. Probably would have got there had he been played more, but it's just his age and the fact that, you know, you've got to look for a better striker right now. You know.
Oh, whoa, damn! Wow.
Yeah.
Team having fun, almost.
Oh! Oh! That would have been nice.
That would have been very nice. It'd be first goal of the season.
Yeah, he needs that.
See the first touch? He rolled it up, you know.
Yeah. Look, I've been looking at the stats of this game all along, and he's doing what Partey does. He's got most tackles, most interceptions, most passes through the lines. He just does that all the time.
You know what I love, Tony? The balls between the lines. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The balls between the lines are exceptional. From deep sometimes, too. Yeah. He's not looking to make the 5-yard pass. He's looking to split the defense most times.
Absolutely.
Saka for ESR, not surprising.
St. Tottenham's Day is truly on. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. I'll be honest with you. I will milk this the whole week, at least. Probably, in fact, the whole summer.
So if they lose, you're gonna hear Andy complain that the referee gave away penalties that shouldn't be given, his bars fault and all that good stuff. Can't wait. If they lose, can't wait. Can't wait to hear Andy excuses.
Oh, move the ball.
We've been pretty comfortable. Probably 1 or 2 moments.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how well Chambers fit that right back, though. I mean, it all depends on the competition. But when you don't have speed and you have that height, it's a little more challenging to play out that wide.
You know, he's done well. He's got good technique. He's got good passion. This is what I'm saying. passion, desire. You want to maximize what you have, and you know he's playing for the badge.
Yeah.
Some players play for the badge, and you'll see them outperform others that you'd expect more from. He's a good little player.
Yeah, definitely need an upgrade on Granit Xhaka, don't we? Take your time. What a ball by Gabriel. And another great ball from Partey.
Yeah, Samara is a player, man. I'd just love Arsenal to get Samara.
To get who?
Samora.
Okay. I thought we were trying to get that 18-year-old from France. Play center mid. Who Real Madrid wants.
Score updates. Oh, Chelsea are back in it, 2-1. Come on,
I didn't realize Villa had scored too.
Yeah.
That game is probably going to be a drawn game. 70th
That
minute.
will be enough. Liverpool and Leicester would qualify, I believe, on that basis.
Sure. Nice.
Chilwell score periodically, actually. Once in a while, put the ball in the net.
There we go.
I think Arteta loves Odegaard. It's very obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not sure.
He has a lot of quality.
He has quality. He has quality. There's no doubt in that. But I just wonder, you know, is it worth the money? Because you're gonna have to pay 40 million. I'm pretty certain. If we can get him on another year loan.
Sergio's got the goal. Nice one.
Who?
Record. Sergio.
Oh. Go away present. Oh, it's 4. Where's Everton?
So
Everton's
Andrew
falling
Roberts.
falling off a cliff.
Yeah, they're 10th. They're beneath Leeds now.
Yeah, they started in a house of fire and they cooled off.
Andy Roach wants to know, is Xhaka's name Granite because his parents predicted his mobility on the football pitch?
I think it's more they predicted his toughness.
Victor says Odegaard over
Willock all day.
Willock.
I don't know. Willock putting the ball in the net.
Greg G is not a great fan of Odegaard. Guys, put your comments on Odegaard in the chat. I want to hear more comments on Odegaard. Do we keep? What do we think he's had as a season?
Yeah, say keep our return. Keep our return.
Yeah.
Return to Real Madrid or we keep him.
What's your thoughts, Tom?
I think it's actually going to be more than 40 mil. I think more 50. 50.
Wow.
I'm not paying 50 for anything in COVID time. Not happening.
Not worth it.
The thing is, he's got the ability.
18 says send him back.
My issue is, and I'm still not convinced about Arteta in the formation. That's my concern. And, you know, if you're saying Odegaard still with Xhaka and Partey next season in the midfield, then I don't want Odegaard because we need to see progression. We've seen progression in the wrong area. Odegaard's got great vision, and I would like to see Willock have a run in the team. So I'll say no.
Yeah, I agree with you, Apollo, on that one. Buendia looks far more better value, and he's definitely not going to cost you 50 million.
I thought Bendua has been quoted as 40 million. He's been quoted
Still
as 40
better
million.
value. Still
You
better
think so?
value. Still better value. Don't forget, he did play in the Premier League the season before this one.
I didn't hear people raving about him then. I didn't hear the raving about him then.
No, but he did. He had a decent return. Even though Norwich got relegated, he had a decent season.
I'm not looking for decent. I'm looking for. If we're gonna compete with Man City, we can't use decent in the describing
but
a
you
player.
know what? You aren't going to find that all singing or dancing.
Liverpool
right
2-0 up. Mane 2 goals.
Leicester Tottenham 2-2.
Yeah.
Getting tight for Leicester.
Question for you there, Bertram.
If you had 40 million,
40 million, would you spend on Bendua when he was in the Premier League? He was third in the league in chances created, which is more than. I don't know. I think we got to explore all options. I think we should restrict to any one player in any one league. We got to go do some real scouting to find a gem for a reasonable price. If you can find Mahrez and Kante, they're out there.
Shit.
Spurs
That
scored.
goal has just put Leicester out of the top four and moved Chelsea back into it.
Yeah. Goal difference. I'm telling you, Laka in tight space is ridiculous.
That's why I always prefer to play him over Aubameyang any given time.
Yeah, in tight spaces, he's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like people don't seem to realize that, Tony. In tight spaces, he's ridiculous. Doesn't score enough, but he's really good in tight spaces.
Well.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did he get out of that trap?
Yeah, in tight spaces, he's ridiculous.
4 players on each side of him.
Yep. He's been well coached. When he comes into the ranks, in terms of protecting the ball, really well coached.
Where did he learn that, I guess? Oh, it's France, wasn't it?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he learned it on the playground, Tony, on the playground. Yeah. On the
Talent,
you can't play on the playgrounds unless you have those skills. You can't play on the playground. Nobody's picking you. You're gonna be at the end of the line, not getting picked. You learned on the playground.
Jesus, Man City running riot, 5-0, Aguero again.
They're practicing for Champions League final against Chelsea. Is what they're doing.
Come on, Leicester. Just one more goal for Leicester. Come on.
You cannot give up. You cannot score 2 and then giving up 2 by Leicester against Spurs. Yeah. Sorry.
Who scored the second Spurs goal?
Let me check. On goal, Schmeichel.
Oh no.
At least we're finishing the season strong. That's a good thing.
Pepe hat-trick would be nice, cool K. Go on, Saka. Come on, ref.
This will be 4 in a row if we win, which really showed our team much better than we were all season. Yeah. 4 in a row, make 12 points on the trot, make us look really in really good position versus where we actually were for most of the season.
Hold on, I'm gonna get my stream back.
5 in a row.
5 in a row. Sorry, 4 in a row now. Yeah, 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Which really inflate our stats, doesn't it? Or inflate how we perceive at the end of the season. I think Brighton has given up. They're just walking now.
Come on, Leicester. One more game. That's all we need. 1 goal.
Basuma has touches. He has touches. And he has legs. That's important. Legs are very important.
Mm.
Legs, touches. Martinelli coming on. It's kind of late, Arteta.
Shocking, Andy Roach. Shocking. I know you're a joker, but that.
Oh Lord, Apollo, stop. You want these inflated stats to suggest we've improved that well, Apollo? Really? I win 500 trot and I still finish in 7th place. How bad is that? That means I was irrelevant for most of the season.
And you know what Arteta will also say, well, I got more points than last year as well.
Of course, we're better than last year. We're improving.
You were better.
Yeah. Like we haven't been watching all season. I would say we improve when we compete against Liverpool and Man City. We haven't competed against them in the last 5 years.
The hurtful thing is, it's taken them this long to actually realize what we can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not losing those stupid games. And that's why I say, with the right manager who didn't pantsy about with the team at the start like Arteta did, I personally believe we should have been knocking on top 5.
Yeah, I mean, if Everton was, if West Ham is, then yes.
We're literally 2 games away from top 5 right now.
Yeah.
2 games. So you look at 13 losses. You mean to say a decent manager couldn't have got us to win? Not with these players, Apollo. Are you joking? These same players, without Guendouzi, without Saliba, without Willock, without Maitland-Niles, all these players that you're saying are not good enough have currently got us into 7th place. And we was pissing around this season with Willian playing 10 men. And we're pissing around with Aubameyang up front, playing with 10 men. So if Aubameyang and Willian are on the pitch, we're playing with 9 men. And then we're pissing around with Xhaka at left back. Apollo, come and talk to me now.
Yes, Apollo. I give the floor to you and Tony. I acquiesce. I give the floor because
these players are trash, but they're good enough to get you 5th place if you have the right manager with the right strategy.
Look, I think we need some improvement in the team at certain key positions. We've said that: left back, midfield, right back. Having said that, there are players who are not carrying their weight like Aubameyang. There are players not carrying their weight like William, and they played for a lot of the season. So if you, as Tony said, you play with 9 men, basically, you can't play with 9 men in the Premier League. It's a recipe for disaster.
I think we've also got to bear in mind, we've got to move the ball better.
Yes, I agree.
We did a lot of comical defending in games where that you can't really excuse in games, and it does happen. But if you look at the season, it's been very underwhelming considering. I'm just happy when I see young players get a chance to play, because for me, I have to look for the future.
Apollo, you made a comment about these players are trash. Yeah? Whose decision was it to let Martinez go over Leno? Because our last defeat was in Friday the 23rd of April, 1-0 against Everton. Who scored the goal? Bert Leno.
Oh, brilliant ball, Laka. Brilliant ball. A little less pace.
And this is the thing: the managers let players go. So he's assessed our squad and said he wants to play with that.
I think our biggest problem is we don't keep the ball well, and we're carrying certain players.
Pain on the arm, definitely.
Yeah, you can't. If you play football, you know you can't carry players.
But Tottenham are winning.
They are. They scored again.
Tottenham are winning.
It looked like it
Wow.
Harry Kane's hand potentially.
Handball, but apparently it's been given.
Harry Kane races through on
You
goal.
can't score with your hand.
Could things be about to get worse for Leicester? No, they couldn't. What a challenge that is from Wilfred Ndidi, the main tackler in the Premier League. Most tackles in the division. Another crucial one to deny Harry Kane and Spurs a fourth of the afternoon. Leicester 2, Spurs 3.
Goal of Craven
Wow.
Cottage, Andy Stevenson. Newcastle sealed the win here, surely, thanks to a spot
Wow.
kick. Matt Ritchie was taken down by Kenny Tete. In truth, it looked like a tangle of legs, but the referee pointed at the spot, and Manuel Scher, the defender, on as a substitute, passed it into the net. Cool as you like. Fulham 0, Newcastle 2. So, back to Villa Park, John Bennett, where all the subs, the Chelsea subs, are getting the news.
Whoa.
Oh, jeez.
Whoa.
Wow.
Sorry. West Ham 3, Declan Rice. Oh, Declan got fit for the Euro, didn't he? It's amazing you get fit the game before.
That's what I'm saying to you, Bertram. It's these things you've got to think every time you have a major tournament. These young players, that's what they want.
So you saw how Martin they got through that situation, Tony. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
I
That's
love
ridiculous.
a bit of play. That just ruined my Sunday. It was
Yeah,
so good
yeah.
until then.
Spurs came through in the end, didn't they? Leicester
Can't
choked
believe Leicester
again.
have lost.
Leicester choked again. They had it in their hands. They had a tough finish, though, to the season. That's a problem. They had tough games to the end of the season, and their squad is not big enough. And they lost Evans, who I think is key for them.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell was that, Rob holding?
Come on, Pepe, take him on.
Lacazette's control is so good. He's so
I
good.
agree. Game's over, 2-0. Good end of the season. All is not hopeless.
Oh,
There's always next year.
so we finish 8th.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the conference league. I'm sorry. Not in the conference league.
Oh well, so for those of you who didn't want that conference league, we're not going to be in it. But we will finish 8th.
So now the work starts. Now let's see how Edu and Arteta and the individuals in management go out and source talent, get rid of talent or lack thereof, and put us in a position to be successful going forward.
The fact that we're not in Europa Conference means that the squad can be stripped down because we ain't going to need as big a squad.
Yep. We have some young players too coming through, like Balogun,
Yeah.
who should be in next year, and Ketia may go out on loan or be sold. So there's a lot of decisions to be made.
Yeah.
Willock coming back. The great Willock was equal Alan Shearer's consecutive goal scoring streak in the Premier League. Youngest player to score 7 goals in a row. All these records he's breaking. Let's see if he does it at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Formation, man. Freedom of formation to play. That's the key thing.
But the problem is we need more legs because I'm not sure Willock defensively is there. And he plays deep, right? He's not playing the 10. He's playing deep.
I like how Bissouma and Pepe are having a laugh.
No, he's saying, feed me next year when you come join me. Make sure feed me next year. Feed me next year when you come join me. We need you.
Yeah.
So I assume everyone wants Xhaka to. I know, and I'll part of that question. I think everyone thinks Xhaka's time has been. I heard he wants to leave actually.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good friends.
Tony, someone mentioned Tony. You're a boxing fan here. Someone here mentioning Josh Taylor winning yesterday.
Go back to that one, please, Apollo. Question for Tony. Josh Taylor has undisputed Yeah, 100%, 100%. 2 knockdowns in 2 rounds.
That was the difference, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I love Josh Taylor anyway. He shows heart. He's happy to go in for a scrap. And Ramirez is a good fighter. So, that was a great fight last night. I enjoyed that. Good tear up in the middle rounds.
Yeah, 2 10-8 rounds. That's the difference in the fight. Question. Pepe with his arm and Basama's shoulder, he's laying the ground.
Laying the groundwork.
He's laying the groundwork. Yeah, I think that's what he's
why
doing.
not, man?
Oh Lord, up deserves better. Apollo, who are you cheering for? Utah? We want Arsenal to be good again.
Yeah,
we want the Basumas of the world.
He still supports a team that don't even exist anymore.
Yeah, that's
Ari and ends in S.
I know, right? They don't, literally and figuratively, they don't exist anymore. They're like taking up space. Taking up space. I can't. When they won the last championship, that was in the 80s. Isn't 86 the last time they won with the Hogs? Yeah, I think it's late 80s.
Yeah,
that's over 30 years ago.
Yeah,
they're not relevant. He supports. Look at Apollo's team. Supports Arsenal, which are challenged. Hasn't won in how many years? About 19, 18 years. He supports Utah, who's never won the NBA championship. He supports the Redskins. There's a theme there. There's a theme, which is I don't support winners.
At least me and Tone have got 2 teams that have got unbeaten seasons.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
One is the only team to have an unbeaten season.
Well, I support the Knicks, who are back in the playoffs this year, by the way.
I like the Knicks.
I support the Giants, who have won championship, even in the turn of the century.
Yeah.
So a couple of my teams, and I support Arsenal, who are challenged, and will not win a championship anytime soon.
I'm glad when I watched the Mets win the World Series.
Yeah, that's a while ago too.
Yeah, I was there.
It hasn't been a while, so yeah, not necessarily supporting a ton of winners.
Sometimes it's not what it's about, It's about where you enjoyed the game and love and the colours and what have you. So yeah.
I can't believe Leicester blew it again.
So around
especially being up 2-1 and losing, not even trying, losing.
West Ham 6th, Tottenham 7th. So
that is bad by Leicester, though.
Yeah, very much so.
Especially given that Chelsea lost, right? Given that Chelsea lost, if they held on, wow.
Game management, isn't it? You stop and you think, when did Spurs equalise? What was the time when they equalised? 2-1 up.
Yeah.
They equalised in the 78 minute. Yeah. 76 minute.
Wow, it's gone 4-2 now, isn't it? 4-2. 4-2 to Tottenham.
Wow.
They probably throw all the men forward and probably get hit on the counter, I would assume.
Yeah.
Bale
scored 2. Wow. Well, it's been an amazing season.
It's been an amazing season, given COVID, given all the challenges one has encountered. And we have had another amazing season in the wrong direction, which is not good. We have to change that direction of travel. We can't keep going, becoming irrelevant, frankly. We have West Ham finished above us, who don't spend half the money we spend on salaries and players. Don't have our infrastructure.
That is the reason why I say, with another manager, even with the lack of talent in the squad, we should still be knocking on the door for the top 5 at minimum. And I'll blame that wholly on Martinez. On Arteta.
18. Burton doesn't talk about New York. No, I can talk about my Knicks now. 18. They're in the playoffs. We won't win the championship, but we're becoming relevant. I think we need a lot. We're like Arsenal. We don't have the talent though.
Yeah, we do need
hard. We play hard, which is play defense, but offensively, we're not that good.
I was all in thinking that we'd get Zion.
I know, right? That was the look, actually. Do we get Zion? Barrett is not bad, but he does have a consistent outside shot, but he's getting better.
Zion isn't even the player of the season anyway. It was Ja Morant was the guy.
Yeah.
Morant's a very good player. He showed up against Curry.
Yeah.
Showed up big time. Showed up big time.
That's right.
Big time.
That was a good game. Good game.
Yeah. No,
how about the Clippers getting stung last night by Dallas?
Yeah, I watched that one.
The Clippers are like Arsenal in a sense, in terms of they have mortgaged their future for something which isn't working. That's the worst thing you can do. So they don't have a first round till what, 2026? Some way out date. I mean, they get Paul George. They gave Oklahoma City everything in the kitchen sink.
Everything, yeah.
And now that combination is not working, and they're going to be challenged going forward. And Kawhi can opt out, by the way.
Yeah.
At some point, like a year from now, he can opt out.
Rondo played quite well last night, but again, it was inconsistencies with their 3-point shooting was poor.
Yeah, but he also played against Luka, right? And Luka is just a phenomenal player.
And they're not defensively sound. They're not defensively sound. That's their undoing. Then look, as poor as the Lakers can play offensively, they'll shut you down. That's the one thing. The Lakers are the number one defensive team in the league, and defense wins championships.
Yeah. The problem for them is that most teams who are good have two very good offensive players, and maybe can play defense. Paul George is very inconsistent, so Kawhi will get his, but sometimes he disappears. Paul George will disappear at the most interesting times. So then it becomes a challenge because the rest of the players around him are not scorers.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Lakers, LeBron is always going to play well, and he has Davis, who's a great player when he's back, playing regularly. So it's interesting.
Yeah. So let's get on with the. Should we do the player stats?
The players.
Yours up there, Apollo, for us to work off. Where do I see?
I think we should do end of season ratings for the players.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to really rate this game. This game was a nothing game.
In relation to the previous question, I don't even think about that because I don't see City being without Pep. Why would you think about that question when he's clearly not going to go anywhere? He's got all the money he could possibly want. He has a plethora of talent. Yes, Carlito, we managed to escape the dreaded Conference League. I personally would have accepted it if we could have finished above Tottenham.
I wanted none of it.
Oh, so Andy just sent a message, Tony. Still finished above Arsenal for the 5th consecutive season. Not that there's any really bragging rights. They're both poor. He's right, though. They finished above us again.
Yeah.
Which is sad, actually.
It would have just been nice if we could have just quelled that for a season. Because they're gonna get, they're gonna claim that North London is white, and we just need to quell that again for another year.
Yeah. At least we have some. They have a lot more baggage than we do, frankly. They have a lot more baggage to get rid of. We have some. Question: what happens to like the Torreiras, Guendouzi of the world, Salivas of the world? Do we bring them all back, or are we going to be selling? What are we going to be doing? There's a lot of decisions to be made.
A lot of
decisions.
Yeah, I sat down with Sporty Jordan in the week, and between us, we think that there's at least 12 players that could be out the door. Arsenal can't get rid of 12, but we looked and said 12 players could all be released just like that.
That's a lot of players.
Yeah. And you don't we weren't even stretching the imagination. We were literally just going, there are 6 of them not even at the club at the moment.
6 now at the club, like Guendouzi, Carrera, Saliba, Willock, AMN. Who's the other?
Mavropanos. That's 6.
Yeah, that's 6. Yeah.
Then you got 2 players who don't belong to Arsenal. That's 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you can easily find 4 players in the team. Willian, Leno, Xhaka.
Bellerin is gone.
Bellerin is gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Easily 12.
That's just and that's not even counting players that you think, well,
and Ketia, Nelson.
Yeah.
That's up to 14.
So easy.
Up to 14. That's a lot of players.
So easy.
It's a lot of players. That's a lot of players.
Okay, so Apollo's ratings are up. Leno 6, Chamber 7.5, Holding 8, Gabriel 7, Tierney 7, Xhaka his usual, Partey 7.5, Odegaard 9, Pepe 9.5, Smith Rowe 7, Aubameyang 5. The manager gets 8.
So I'll say something, which is, if you have a player who keeps getting rating 5 and below, how can you justify starting that player? Like it's a theme. Apollo, is there any way we can average out Aubameyang's ratings for the year? I'd be really curious to see how we get those numbers match up.
Yeah, I guarantee it's got to be about 4.7.
It's bad. We're talking about a 38-game season. That is really, really bad at average. Not good. He has to have a better year next year. And I don't think he's lost a step per se. Normally, see players slow down. They can't run as much. I'm not sure that is. I'm not sure why he's been so poor, actually.
I think he's lost a step. That could be motivation, desire. I don't think the formation. I don't like the formation, and I don't think it suits the team. So, and it's definitely not suiting Aubameyang right now, the way how we're moving the ball. So
I thought that with Odegaard playing the 10 and giving the ability, and Partey playing deep, both of them the ability to split the defense and get the ball behind the defense between the lines. And yet, that didn't happen with Abba. So the question, if you can't do that then, and teams are playing deep, he won't be effective. It's not possible.
And just to give you a little bit of statistics on today's game, bearing in mind we dominated this game, we won 2-0. Our top shooters today were Thomas Partey, Nicola Pepe, Granit Xhaka, believe it or not, and then Aubameyang. And he's the striker, the one and only striker.
He's had an awful season. Awful season. But look, we hope he's better next season. I'll put it that way. Carlito says Bertram with anti-ABBA agenda as usual. I don't have an agenda, Carlito. Let me respond to that. I don't have an agenda against any players. I call it like I see it. Do I sound negative about ABBA? I'm not really negative on people who have a bad game, and he's had bad games almost. If I have a 38 game, let's say he played 30 because he was out with malaria. He came late. Let's say he played 30 games. He hasn't had 25 good games.
Yeah. I'm totally on the same side as
any other player in any other team would not start 30 games if they've had 25 bad games. Not happening. Not happening. So it can't be that I'm anti-ABBA. I'm saying let's talk about it. I assess players based on a number of different criteria. Goal scoring is the most difficult thing to do. He does that well. Hasn't done it well this season. Ability to hold the ball up like Alaka does. Awful. That's one word I use, awful. Be able to make a pass, just even a backward pass, awful. Get between the lines. Create space for others. All these criteria used for a forward, he's not been good. So Carleto, what's your rating on ABBA this season? Let me flip this around. You tell me how well you think he has done. He was great last season scoring goals. Still has those deficiencies, but the goals compensated for those deficiencies.
While Carlito scribbles his mark, I will answer that question for you because I'm on your side, Bertram. Aubameyang for me, season average probably is about 4.7. You know, if he scores a goal, he jumps up to 6-7. You know, if he scores 2 goals, he probably gets to 8 or a 9. But those 8s and 9s are so few and far between.
Yeah. Highest paid player, by the way. He's the highest paid player. Let's just say that, because that's important. Just like how Pepper gets slack for being costing 70+ mil, you get slack for being the highest paid player if you're not producing. He's 15 goals in a season. That was his worst of the team. How many goals he scored in the Premier League where it matters? We use 15 goals in a season as a criteria and benchmark. I use Premier League as my base. I know some people don't like that. Goals in any game. I'm not quoting goals against pub teams. I'm sorry. We can score against pub teams. Anybody can score against pub teams. How many goals did Willock have this season? We're going to use goals at pub teams because Willock scored goals in Europa League and in the FA Cup. So I'm not buying the 15 goals.
I think
350K.
I think the key is goals breeds confidence. So even if you do score goals in Europe or in the League Cup, it should give you confidence. So when you come into the Premiership, you should be able to be more confident with your ability. I personally think, for Aubameyang and a player of his finishing qualities, 30 goals a season in all competitions is something that should be a standard for him, given the players that he's playing around and the way how we move the ball. We're supposed to be a passing football team, so he's supposed to be getting chances. And I think we have been a bit dysfunctional. Our midfield does hold the team back in the current formation that it has because both Partey and Xhaka are so deep with the ball. The guys up front are almost outnumbered, so we're not creating enough chances. But and again, this is a thing that Arteta has to sort out because I don't see Aubameyang on the left-hand side. Apollo, yes, I know he's had illnesses with his mum. I'm aware of that, but I'm talking about the player. I'm taking these things out of the equations. Yeah, he's issues with his mum. He was given time, and he has malaria. Yeah, I'm aware of those things, but we're talking about the ability of Aubameyang. Me, as a person who plays striker, point striker, behind, left and right. He's going to get chances, and I see him every season in an Arsenal team. He should be getting around 30 goals a season. Now, I'm not saying 30 goals in the Premiership. Yeah, I'm saying 30 goals a season.
So I'll say two things. One is there's the stats, and then there's the eye test. Right? There's a stat who tells you a story over the season, and then there's you watching the player play every week in, week out. And frankly, he's had a very, very poor season. And the stats may say 15 goals, the eye test saying not pleased.
But they've got a really nice. They're doing a really. Sorry to interrupt, guys. They're doing a really nice parade for Wijnaldum at Liverpool. He's been parading at the ground.
Nice.
It's just lovely to see when they appreciate a player on the last day, the way they have done there.
So where's he going? I haven't heard. He's going to Barca, isn't he?
Is that where he's ended up? Yeah.
I assume so, but he's going to be like Gleb. Players who go to Barca normally sometimes don't work out, unless they're a Suarez.
And this is the thing. You got to look at Wanyama as what he was up at Newcastle. Yeah. Nice, tidy player. Came into Liverpool and played his way into being in a very effective Champions winning team and Champions League winning team. So, credit. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to be the best. You got to do your best. And it's just nice, as Tony says, the fans to recognise a player like that, give him that send-off. And that's what it's all about. Maximising your ability on the pitch. You know, you go through our Invincibles team. Yeah, we're not talking about Invincibles first 11. Invincibles team. Yeah, the
That
squad.
looks like a goodbye hug. I'm just looking at Harry Kane's. Looks like he's saying goodbye to his team.
Yeah,
He is?
I personally think it looks like he's saying goodbye to his team.
yeah. I think he's good. He said, you know, even in the last game, passionate farewell to the fans. I'm not saying, going back to what I was saying about our Invincible squad, you know, players maximize themselves, and that's all you ask for. If they're not doing that, then it's clear to see they're not getting the best out, and we've had far too many this season.
Look, players sometimes have bad seasons. So I'm going to chalk up Williams' season and Aubameyang's season to having a bad season. The question is, can they recover? The problem is they're both over 30, so you will never be able to tell.
I think Aubameyang can easily recover. Definitely.
William can recover. William is in a bad spot. When you're used to being a starter all your life and now you can't even get off the bench, it becomes tough.
The thing is, when you have players closing you down, which he has had a lot, very quickly, again, the style of football that he's been asked to play, I don't think is suited. I don't think it suited him.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with William. I mean, it's a tough situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless he goes to Inter Miami, and we're not sure that's a...
I hope that's the move. I really do.
It's not a good situation, though. Because how do you get rid of the player?
The fact that Fabrizio Romano said that is a good chance he could be going. I'm crossing fingers that we see the back of him. Anyway, let's get back to this player rating stuff. Where are we? Get it up. Get it up. Let's do this.
What kind of season did Laka have this year? Last year,
13 goals, 7 short of 20 in the Premier League.
So apologies for raising me up, Tony.
Okay, so my ratings for today's game. Leno clean sheet. What did he have to do? Not a great deal.
Made what, 2 saves, I think? A couple saves.
Did he? Yeah, a couple of saves. Enough. Yeah, they were point blank at him though, in all honesty. It's hard to mark him down and it's hard to mark him up. Kind of have to go with a 6.5. Chambers delivered an assist for Pepe's second goal. I'll join you on a 7.5. Holding got caught ball watching badly in one part of the game. Did he have much to do outside of that? I don't know what he got an 8 for, so I'm going to give him 7. Gabriel, I'm going to also give 7. Tierney, 7. Xhaka, 7. Partey, 8. Odegaard, 1 very good assist, but I really don't see. I'm conflicted on Odegaard. I really am. I don't think he's effective enough in a game to warrant big money spend. Today's mark, I would give him a 7.5 at most, even with an assist. Pepe, I'm giving a 9. 9.5 would mean he was beating players for fun. So I wouldn't say he was a 9.5, but he scored 2 screamers. So I'll give him a 9. Smith Rowe, bit of a quiet game, but still worked hard, 7. And Aubameyang, yeah, standard 5. Standard 5. In this team, against that opposition, really. Arteta, clean sheet and a win, 8. Going to be a different picture when we start talking about how we mark these guys for the season. But I'll let someone else go on with their marks for this game first.
Okay, so I'll go with Leno. I'm going to give Leno a 7. You know, he did all right. I'm not going to mark him down to to a 6. Chambers, I'd actually give Chambers an 8, to be honest. I'll give Chambers an 8. I'll give Holding a 7. Gabriel a 7. Tierney played well. I'll give him a 7 as well. Xhaka, I'll give him a 7.5. I thought Xhaka did all right. We started to see him bursting through midfield, spraying passes, keeping the ball movement. I'll give Xhaka a 7.5. Partey, again, I'll give him a 7.5. Had a nice, lovely shot off the bar. Played well, those two in midfield. Odegaard, I'll give him a 7 today, Odegaard. Some nice passing, but again, as Tony says, he wasn't outstanding. For me, Pepe was the man today. I'd give him a 9. Very good with his 2 goals and looked up for it. Smith Rowe, I'd give him a 7 today. It wasn't his best game. Just the nature of the game, really. And Aubameyang, I think 5 is being really generous. For 2-0 victory, we don't want to mark him too down, but it's just the nature of where Aubameyang is right now. And next season I expect more from him. Arteta, I'll give him an 8.
You're going to have to watch Odegaard from his game, the best player on the pitch by some distance. Apollo, can you go back to the ratings? So I'll give my ratings. Leno 6.5, Chambers 7.5, Holding 7, Gabriel 7, Tierney 7, Xhaka 7, Partey 8, Odegaard 7.5, Pepe 9, Smith Rowe 6, Aubameyang NA, Arteta 8. I can't grade Aubameyang. I don't know what giving him 5. Say you had an average game. I don't see how one can say that a player who contributed little or nothing in the game gets a 5. That means he has a decent game. Can someone tell me what he did really well in the game to get a 5? And people are going to say, Bertram, you're harsh and you grade him really hard. So I prefer to go like Apollo does for Xhaka. I'm going to get NA for Aubameyang going forward. When he gets a good score in a game, I'll give him a score. But that'd be far in between for the whole season. And it's not being harsh on a player. It's calling like I see it. And I don't want to harp on Aubameyang anymore. But I'll say Odegaard has talent, but we do want to see more because just having the ball, playing it wide, playing between the lines, yeah, that's good. But I want to see him driving at the defense. I want to see that defense fitting pass and getting that forward in and goal. I'm not seeing some of those things. He works hard, by the way, for a number 10, because most 10 just want to play one direction towards opponent's goal, not coming back to help. And he does come back to help. And I think he's quality. And the question is, should we pursue him? I don't think we will, because I don't think Real Madrid would sell. And or if they do, the price will be too high. So it's not something I'd advocate us doing because it will take too much out of resources that we have. And frankly, we don't have the best resources to go out and pursue. We need players. We need a backup left back. And hopefully we get Bertram on the free. Or Bertrand, I should say, on the free. We need a right back. And hopefully we can sell Bellerin and invest some of that money. We need a player to play. We need 2 midfielders because you can't have one. Maybe Willa comes back and he's that second midfielder or third midfielder. But we need someone beside Partey. And we need a number 10. But you know what? If we get to be holding the ball like Liverpool, we can play 3 midfielders without worrying about a number 10. If we can get our offensive game in a part where we have our wingers scoring a lot of goals, like Pepe scores a lot, Martinelli scores a lot, Saka scores a lot, you don't really need a 10. They can create on their own. Our problem is our forwards, Laka, Abba, can't create on their own, and Saka doesn't score enough. Everyone keep harping on number 10 because Man U has one. Where is City's number 10 per se?
But the thing is also, it's ball movement.
Yeah.
You're mentioning about Liverpool. Well, their fullbacks contribute a huge amount on both sides. They have balance. If we have fullbacks and then if we're moving the ball at pace and at distance better, so then we'll probably get a better chance of seeing the likes of your Saka or your Smith Rowe or your Pepe or even Aubameyang having more shots at goal. We need these guys to have better quality of shots. And how we're going to do that is by ball movement. And that's something that is going to have to be worked on over the summer.
So we finished 8th in the season, same as last season, but with 5 more points. Much better for defensive display, letting in 39 goals.
Yeah.
I'm a bit rude. I'm a bit rude and say, who cares, Apollo? 8th is 8th. You have made any progress. 8th is 8. 10 more points, 20.8 is 8. 8 is 8.
Yes,
it's
true.
8.
But you know what? Considering that every teams have improved, we have to take small leaps forward. Yeah, and it is a leap forward in one sense. So yes, 3rd best in the league. We've got to take it. You know, we have to take it. You know, if next season we go backwards, then we can turn around and say, you know what, we're not going in the right direction.
Yeah, and that's on the back of Everton and Villa collapsing at the end of the season. Frankly, that's how we finish 8th. They both collapsed basically. Yeah, but I'm just saying. So it wasn't if it was a solid 8th position where I finished 8th and it's great. We sort of journey away into just drunkenly into 8th position. And I think we had a better squad of players this year than last year. I really do. I think we had a better squad of players. Now, granted, we have a number of injuries and personal situations. We have a better squad of players this year, and we finished in 8th. So we haven't made any progress. And this whole thing about the defensive record, we're not scoring. We may be preventing more goals because sometimes we sit deep. That affects you going forward. So I don't know what to say about improvement. I don't think we've improved. I think the only ways we've improved here's what I did improvement, which is, if I look at this crop of players, do I see them being better next year? I see Pepe being better. I see Martinelli better. I see Saka better. ESR better. Willock better. So your young core players, all like 25 or under, are going to be better. But you need to supplement them with some quality.
This squad is trash, according to Apollo. I just can't say enough. This squad is not trash. Give this squad to Pep Guardiola. I guarantee he gets top 4.
Pep wouldn't take this squad.
He wouldn't.
Pep he's not taking a squad.
Right.
That squad is not going to win. He's not taking the squad.
Yeah.
To win. It's not happening.
He's not taking this squad.
No, he's not.
Klopp, Klopp with this squad, we're getting top 4.
Jurgen Klopp would take the squad. Pep is not taking the squad.
With this terrible squad that you are trashing.
Apollo, I'd like to ask you, why do you think the squad is actually trash? What is the reason why the squad is trash? Is it the
because it's got Xhaka in it? That's why.
No, Apollo. I've never said this. So here's the thing, Apollo. Which is there are quality players in the squad. Holistically, is the squad where it needs to be? No. I'm going to use a lot of euphemism. I'm not going to be as direct as I normally am. But I'll just say this, which is we have quality players, but they're still in development of some of them. So the question is, when do you get to the point where you can optimize what you have? Mm-hmm. And right now it's challenged. As Tony said, we've done a good job in the last transfer window, get rid of players we're not going to be part of the future. We have some more to get rid of, some much more difficult. But I can see next 2 years, not next year per se, but the year after next year, if all these players evolve and develop as I expect them to, we're going to be in a good situation with some of these players. I think ESR can be quality, even though I know ESR is a 10. What is he per se? Because the reason why I love Odegaard is because ESR doesn't play as well between the lines as Odegaard does. I think Pepe can be quality. So now he's beat a man last week. And everyone say, Bertram, he's done this, and you say he can't beat a man. Like, we use these one-off situations as if this is normalized. And it's not normal if a player has those skills and don't go by players regularly without losing the ball. So we do have to say, do we have quality players? Yes. But as Tony says, there is 12 to maybe 16 players out of a 25, 30-man squad you can get rid of, which is not a good thing. That means half the squad is not as good as you want it to be.
Okay, so Apollo's saying that for me to ask Bertrand how good we are at keeping the ball in midfield. My concern is that it's not just a case of keeping the ball in midfield, it's keeping the ball across the team. So, you know, in defense, how good are we with our ball movement and then our position in midfield to receive the ball? When the midfield get the ball, what do they then do? They pass it out to the flanks. How good are we across the team in keeping hold of the ball? And we are a very poor team in keeping hold of the ball, not just in midfield. We're poor in defense. We're poor in distribution to the goalkeeper. We're poor in distribution out to our strikers, and our strikers keeping hold of the ball. So across the board, we're poor in keeping hold of the ball. And that's something that the manager has to work on with his formation. Again, I keep on saying it. Ball movement is key. We are known as a club to keep hold of the ball. So if you stop and you think, in our midfield, we have Xhaka, who's supposed to be a good ball retainer and a good ball distributor. Partey, who's supposed to be good in getting hold of the ball and good in distributing. Why are we poor in midfield? Why are we poor in defense? Why are we poor linking up play? Go for it, Tom.
To add to what you've just said, and I 100% agree with you, Tom, you know, to say that our midfield is poor, yeah, when you have Partey, who, to all intents and purposes, one of the best driving midfielders and defensive midfielders in the country, yeah, I would not say he's trash. You have Joe Willock tearing up trees, has created records anew in what is not a great team. He's our player. Yeah. You have Guendouzi, who Pep said he really would love to have worked with that player. Yeah. And I'm certain under the right leadership, with the right coaches, he's going to be a good player in the next 3 or 4 years. I'm pretty certain of it. Yeah. Got a call up to the France national team. Not the under-21s, the full team. Yeah. I know he dropped down a bit later, but he got a call up to the first team. That team that is the world champions. Odegaard, good player. Emil Smith-Rowe wasn't getting a look in. When he did finally get a look in, was good enough. That's 5 players in midfield. 5. So we drop Xhaka out. We say he's trash. I'm not disputing that. Then I'll add El Neni in there. What say you? Tidy player. Good at keeping the ball. Doesn't lose it. Good pass completion ratio. Not progressive enough, but he doesn't lose the ball badly. Yeah? Energy levels are off the kilter. So if this midfield is so trash, how can I possibly say with 6, yeah? Partey, Odegaard, Willock, Guendouzi, El Neni, you know, that's not a bad Emil Smith-Rowe 6, Saka, Pepe. That's not a bad bunch of players to say, you know what? I'll take those 8 players, and work with them day in, day out. Day in and day out. And create something with them 8 players. All I then need is a striker to finish off the job that them 8 players going to do. Because they're going to score goals. All of them 8 players this season, yeah? Because Willock's on 14. Pepe's on like 14. Yeah? And then you've got Saka, whose goal return needs to improve. We know that. Emil Smith-Rowe showed he can score goals. Odegaard should do better. El Neni, I'm not expecting anything of. Partey needs to improve his shooting. But that 8 players there, you calling that trash? I don't understand that.
So I'll say a couple things. One is I agree with Vinci about ball possession. So here's the problem that we run into. People like Abba, you place the ball into him, it's going to a hole, quicksand, and he doesn't come back out. That's ball possession right there. So you can't give him any balls because he's going to lose most of them. Or he'd make a 2-yard pass, right? I agree with Tony's perspective on the midfield, which is, yeah, players like Xhaka, who people don't like for different reasons, not athletic enough to play in the midfield. I need someone to have legs to cover ground. Even not the best on the ball, you gotta have the Kante type person. Everywhere you go, you see him breaking up plays, starting to play. You need those legs in the midfield, and especially in the Premier League, which is very robust, continuum. They're not playing like La Liga where you walk the ball up the field. They're rushing the ball up the field. You need that. I do think we need help in certain key areas throughout, and we need the players who were out of form this season to get better, or we get rid of them. Like I wasn't one. Like I'm gonna take Apollo up on this. Apollo was celebrating and bringing out the champagne when we signed Abba. And I remember being on the 101 forum, and I think he was, what's his name? Danny, who said it's madness not to sign Apollo. And they asked the question, I said, no, don't sign him. Didn't think he was worth 350. Now, would I wanted to have kept him? Yeah, for morale and the goals he scored, yeah, but at the cost he was coming at, no. I didn't want another Ozil situation. I could see it. When you're over 30, things change. Hate to say it. And when you are one-dimensional in your game, when that dimension goes, what happens to you? You become less than ordinary. So, look, I do think we have a lot of work to do. I am optimistic that Edu and Arteta and the Kroenkes will try to figure out a way to be creative to move some players on. Like Apollo loves Nketiah. Kid has some talent, but the kid is not good enough to get us into where we need to get to. He's just not. The kid doesn't have the all-round game that we need to be we need exceptional footballers. If you really want to compete for titles, not just to be relevant and compete against the cities of the world, you have to have exceptional talent in your team and then make it cohesive. And we don't have that.
And to add to that point, again, I'm going to say, Apollo, you follow Utah Jazz. You have one outstanding player. One. The rest of the pieces in the Utah Jazz, last season, nobody knows who they were. They're a team of nobody. You might have called them trash even. If you go back 2 seasons, most of those players you are talking about at Utah tearing up trees this season would have been trash because that team was nothing. It was going nowhere. But all of a sudden, they started working together. They've developed a system of play. They know where the ball needs to go. They know who they need to get hot. They know how to utilize the hot hand. And all of a sudden, bang, they're off. And all I'm saying is, 8 players, give them a chance. Work with them day in, day out. Make sure you've got link-ups where you know people can work. They know. And that's what makes the difference between Liverpool and Man United and Man City and Arsenal. Because those teams play a game where they understand what each is capable of doing. And they know, I can make a move here because I know I can rely on him to pass the ball there. Oh, come on. Rudiger who? Rudiger. He ain't a superstar. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer?
We're equating max contract with max contract doesn't mean you're a superstar, Apollo. He has a max contract, we agree, but he's not a superstar player. I'm sorry. Mitchell is a great player. He's not a superstar player. No, he's not.
Did Gobert even make it to the All-Star game this year?
I think he probably did, actually. You get rewarded for defense, You get rewarded for defense.
Yeah.
They do reward you for defense nowadays because no defense is played. So you have to give defensive players some recognition because nobody plays defense anymore. Not like they used to. Not like they used to anyway. So we do reward defense.
3-time defensive MVP. Great. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But he ain't. Nobody's gonna be shouting and going, well, boy, gotta have him in my NBA 2K game. I mean, all right, yeah, you probably would because he's cheap.
Andrew saying you have an outlier in the chat. What's that related to, Andrew? You have an outlier in the chat.
Oh, so Russian. We got some Russian geezer coming in.
Does that mean that they hacked the stream? How did? I'm sorry. How they rush to get in? They speaking English or they speaking Russian? I'm not multilingual, so I barely speak English well. That's my other language. He said the Basum is absolutely quality and is a force if utilized correctly, but people shouldn't be complaining about non-existent attributes. Actually, it does come here next year. So what attribute is non-existent, Apollo? He's not a goal scorer. He has legs. We're talking about having legs. Cover a lot of grass, win duels, be able to make a pass, keep the ball when under pressure well, have vision. We're not asking for too much. We're just asking for very good players.
Samara. Samara is going to be a player.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season next year. But we say that every season anyway. We thought this season, when we made prediction, when we prognosticate outcome at the beginning of the year, some people had Arsenal in the top 4. And we were enthusiastic. We thought it would be a Saliba, Gabriel, centre-half pairing. We think the Bellerins and the Tierney's would come through. Partey was being acquired. Alba going to score goals like he did the year before. Martinelli's going to be running riot. Didn't work out that way. So you can't account for injuries and loss of form and all that.
I just have to say a big shout out to Sutton United, my local team. They literally are about a mile from my door. Just won the conference.
Wow.
Promoted to the National Football League for the first time in their history, I believe. So well done, Sutton United.
Nice. Are we going to be doing any Euro games?
Well, before we even got that, we got the Champions League next week. So I believe we're doing that.
We're not watching along, right?
I mean,
is it the Europa?
I'm not a great fan. I got to be honest, I'm not a great fan of the Euros. I'm not even interested until the semi-finals, in all honesty.
Okay, Apollo says yes, we'll cover them in the Champions League. So we've got the Europa League final on Wednesday.
Are you interested in that, Bertram?
I watch the Euros, but I'm not gonna watch a lot of the games sometimes because I'm gonna be busy during the week anyway, working. So I won't get to see a lot of the games. But
it's a difficult one because there's games every day, 2 times a day.
Yeah, I can't watch a lot of those games because I have to work.
Yeah.
Good thing for you guys is that it's end of your day, but it's like the middle of my day, so it doesn't really work well.
Hey, don't worry, Apollo. I'll keep myself busy. That I love the off season. You know me. I do all my research. I love to watch OTAs. I'll find things to busy myself.
Apollo, the NBA will not be over. The NBA season is longer than it was in prior year because it started late, so it runs longer. So think about it. The first round has just started. We're almost at the end of May. It's going to run through June, basically, into July. Yeah. So it'd be competing with the Euros, actually. Even though different times, given that the games are later. So we're gonna do. I gotta go soon. We're gonna do the players for the season ratings for the players.
Okay, bring up a list of names if you can, Apollo. Okay.
No, do you have a list of all the players?
Everybody.
Yeah.
So that would include Willian, Willock,
and Ketia.
This one isn't the review, because this isn't the players. This isn't the review. We're just doing a rating right now, is it?
For the season, the players rating for the season. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do that next week. Okay.
No,
I forgot to mention another player that I want out on my list was Runarsson.
He was a player.
Apparently.
I know he showed up for a game or two, but you know something? If anybody who bought Richardson should be fired. Seriously, no, seriously.
Serious.
Anybody who bought that player should be fired. You cannot. It's a joke. It has to be a joke.
That's what I'm saying. We're talking about.
He probably couldn't get into your Sutton team, Tony. You will keep us Sutton. I would want him. I'd be like, no, we want to get up the ladder. We don't want no. Kid needs a lot of work. Don't want to be harsh to the kid, but he needs a lot of work.
Apollo's saying last season it took us 3 hours to go through the ratings for the season, and I think also we've got a few panelists who would like to be here for that rating. Unfortunately, not here today, so I think Apollo's saying he's going to do that next week.
Okay, cool.
So
sounds like a plan.
We've got time to schedule time, so other guys in the chat as well who are normally here that can actually join in, because as I say, it's good to have the panels.
See if we can get all of our Neomis, Nabil, Ebony, Luiz.
Yeah, I think we should have both the ratings for the season and what we need to be top 4 and be competitive.
Yeah,
with specific players in mind, and the projected cost of those players.
Luiz is getting a 10 times better send-off because he's there. Ozil went out the back door.
Okay.
But let's be totally honest. Ozil is way bigger a player for Arsenal in the history of players. 10 years from now, nobody's going to remember Luiz as a player at Arsenal, whereas Ozil is written in folklore history now.
But Luiz did win an FA Cup in his first season?
It don't count. It don't count.
Ozil hasn't won FA Cup. He hasn't won anything else. He's won a couple of FA Cups.
Yeah, Sanogo got an FA Cup medal. Remember that?
I know. But David would say, you know what? I have a champ. He has a Champions League medal, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Premier League title, Champions League medal. So he has a bigger resume. But now with us, with Chelsea.
It was. Look, David Luiz has had a couple of great seasons for us. But he, tail end of his career,
injury prone. That's his problem.
We can't not look at the errors leading to goals. You can't. Yeah. The number of penalties. You just cannot just go, oh, look at all the good and negate all the bad.
Well, the funny thing, Tony, with David Luiz is when he's playing, you're saying, please don't give a penalty. Okay? Please don't create this ridiculous foul and get sent off. You don't say that with Holding, because Holding may not have the best season, right? It's a good season. But Holding doesn't give away. He may make a mistake not jumping to Sterling with a header, but he's not giving away those fouls and those goals where you're just like, oh my God, how can you do that, right? So you have a little bit more assurance and comfort with him there versus David, who's a better passer, a better overall player, but mistake-prone galore.
Yeah. 100% in agreement.
Yeah. Well, I want to sign off. It's been great as usual. We will catch up next week when we do finalize season analysis and our assessment and think about what we need going forward. We need a lot, by the way. We may have a manager next year. We have a new manager. We're gonna be like Man U, which is what Man U's trying to do is normalize what they do. So they keep their manager now because they can't just keep changing managers, right? It doesn't work. But their manager then come in, put their new methods in place, get their players, and take just a revolving door. So hopefully it'll be a better year next year.
So my closing comments is good victory to end the season. It's been a tough season for all. I'm really pleased for Pepe, and I think that's the shining light coming out of this. He's had 2 seasons now where he's growing into his new club, and he's performing on the pitch. So next season, I've got a lot of hope that I want to see more from Pepe. I'm hopefully going to see the Aubameyang that we know, and I just want us to start focusing better on our attacking and creative play. If we can see improvements in that department and continue with how we've moved forward defensively, we move forward in the right direction. a season outside of Europe, I think is a good thing for the club. And I think it will just focus our mindset and how we set up in pre-season with the games, the right games that we need, and the right focus for the squad, as Tony says, to trim the squad down to what is needed to move us forward. So, thumbs up, Arsenal.
Cool.
Yeah.
My closing comments is kind of a little bit on the back of one of your last comments, Apollo, and also a little touch on what Bertram has also said, and it's about skipper. Quite simply, next season, I hope we choose a skipper. So we have to now make a decision going forward, because for me, clearly, Aubameyang should never have been skipper. Next season, we need a skipper, somebody who can be relied on to be in the team, game in, game out. And for that reason, Rob Holding isn't your guy. I like Rob Holding, but I just don't believe he's going to be in the team. He's not the first name on the team sheet. That's the reason he's not the skipper.
Yeah, I guess the question is, what's the criteria for a person to be captain of a football team? That's the question.
Driving force.
Got to be able to motivate the team, lead by example when we're down, pull teams together, be able to protect the players on the pitch, and also transfer the manager's tactics to the rest of the team, not just in verbally, but in his actual in how he actually carries himself on the pitch and talking. Yeah,
has to be a talker. You cannot have a skipper on the pitch who says nothing for 90 minutes. Impossible.
Yeah, look, I mean, leadership is key. Respect by your peers and by other players in your team is key. How influential are you is key. Can you galvanize a team is key. And if you think about all the criteria you're looking for in that leadership position, that influencer, that person can pull you up when things are not going well, that person who can face adversity when it's not the best situation for you to be in, and will come out and talk to the media and the fans, even though they haven't had a good game, we haven't played well, they exhibit and demonstrate leadership. That's important, right? They'll take one for the team, they're committed. You can see that in their play, their behavior, how they operate, how they galvanize. And I know Khalid saying I'm an Abba Basha, but he doesn't exhibit those qualities. And the problem you have, though, is there's always going to be political in a team. You guys have played in teams, you know, which is if you take the captaincy away, you always have your people who you have cliques in teams. No matter what you try to do, you have cliques. So what does that mean if you take his captaincy away and you can't provide a good ration? You're going to tell the captain and say, well, you know what, you're not captain material. What criteria did you use to give the captaincy in the first place? Have those criteria changed? You want to change me as a captain? Because of a bad season, you're going to take that away. So whatever criteria you use, whether it wasn't to get him to sign that thing, as Apollo always says, it couldn't have changed overnight because the basis to make that decision hasn't changed. So how did you then say you can't be captain anymore? That's hard to do. So I'm not sure politically how you make that decision. But I would say you should, during the season, you find ways to gradually move away from that situation to where you ultimately want to be. So do you bench other games and you give the captaincy to Tierney or wherever you want to be and say, you know what? And then you start, what you try to do over time is have that person demonstrate those qualities. And by default, over time, it becomes, you know what? This person is the captain. This person has all that. That's why David Luiz was really the captain, not Abba in this team, it appears, at least from the outside. Yeah. And that was obvious the way David Luiz operated, communicated, engaged, and seemed to drive the team, even though we didn't have the best season. So, Apollo, can I see that comment again? I missed that comment. Do I sell who, Abba?
No, Apollo's trying to say you actually sell about you sell him. You sell him.
Would I sell Aubameyang? If I could, yes. And the reason is because I'm not sure Abba has the best attitude that I want in my captain and I want my Saka and ESR to follow. I don't think he does enough for the team. If he's not scoring, he's not useful, and that's a bad combination. You shouldn't disregard a person because of one bad season. But I don't like his overall play, so I don't know where to go in terms of what the best decision to make. Because he's not going to improve, but his goal scoring may return. Depends, and also it depends on who you have around you a lot of times in any sport, right? If it was at Man City, he would score a lot of goals because you know what? They create a lot of chances for him. We don't do that well because we're not there yet. But then do you bring back Saliba, Guendouzi, Torreira? What do you do with all those players? I don't know.
Manager's choice.
I'm glad I don't have those headaches.
Manager's choice.
So, manager's choice? Well, the manager's told him he doesn't want them. That's why he sent him on a loan.
Well, and this is what I'm saying. We will play with what we have. We have a smaller fixture list next season, and this is where we're going to see. This is all hallmarks of what a great manager has to go through. We have to go through it with him. It's going to be tough for us. This is what I'm saying. It's like the expectations for next season. You know, you think it's going to be so much better because we out of Europe. You've got to stop and think again. Manager's choice. He's working with what he's trying to implement, and you know we're not going to have the free will of spending that we want or the players that we would like to be brought in again because how the club will want to operate or choose to operate to the needs of what the team is in their opinion. So, you know, it's going to be a frustrating time, Gooners, in this off-season. Brace yourself. I'm being real. Brace yourself for it. I just hope that we get a bit of direction and faith in the youngsters. Because if we get faith in the youngsters and we're bringing in younger players who are of quality, who can perform, hit the ground running, you're going to see a completely different Arsenal.
Yeah, should be interesting.
But I think you hit spot on, Tony, there with a captain, because that's something that has to be sorted out. Whether it's motivation and someone sitting down and talking to Aubameyang, because old and young, you know, it's
not in his DNA. It's not in his DNA.
We can see that. But as Bertram said, it will cause a problem as to why you take it away, as opposed to why did you give it in the first place. And we all know, because obviously encouraging him to stay and so forth. But moving forward, again, these are the things that's going to hold back Arteta in being able to get his message across to the players on the pitch. We've seen it this season.
Yeah, I don't envy Arteta. I've sort of seen those situations in life before. I don't envy Arteta. It's a very difficult situation to be in.
Yeah.
Star player, on the decline. Those things never end well. They always end poorly. No different from Ozil. A little bit different situation, but star player not producing how you'd like them to, not fitting into your system. How do you get rid of them? Especially when the fans are divided about the player. So if you watch AFTV, for example, half of them, well, they're friends with him anyway, so they're never objective. But half the fans in their forum are about, and half are saying, get rid of him. And that's normal. That's normal in any environment you go to with Aubameyang. For Guna fans here in the state and other places, which is you have mixed reviews, mixed perspective on him. Appreciate what he did last year, the year before. Don't understand why he dropped off form so much, and not really overly supportive of moving forward with him. So, and the problem is when you're not producing and when you're not scoring him, those things you don't do well manifest themselves more and are much more prominent and much more obvious. And so your deficiency is magnified. And then the question is, people are saying, well, you're not good enough. We have to move on. But it's going to be tough to do. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Okay, guys.
Peace out.
Take care now.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Yep.
Bless up, Apollo.